from Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. Welcome to the NECBL on ESPN+. We're ready for the Upper Valley Nighthawks today at the Keene SwampBats. And with executive producer PJ Moynihan of Digitalized Film, Ryan Hearn on the graphics, Steve Pierce directing our camera shots, and my partner Ian Benke. I'm Jonah White as we get ready for this one. NECBL regular season coming to a close. It's game 41 out of 44 for the Upper Valley Nighthawks from Vermont, and game 42 out of 44 for the Keene SwampBats. The Nighthawks come in with a record of 18 wins and 22 losses. They are on the outside looking in at the NECBL playoff race, but 0 games behind the Ocean State Waves, who currently occupy the last playoff spot. The SwampBats come in with a record of 14-27. They aren't in playoff contention, but they are coming off a big win yesterday, 6-5 over their division rival, Vermont Mountaineers. Ian, no other way you slice it, this is a massive game for the Upper Valley Nighthawks.
And it's a must-win game for Upper Valley as well. And they need to beat this Keene SwampBats team who played spoiler against them right before the All-Star break with they come from behind 16-10 win. So for Upper Valley, they need to win this one, especially with 3 games against division-leading Vermont to end the season.
And Upper Valley's coming off getting swept in a doubleheader yesterday against the Sanford Mainers to make their playoff position ever more precarious. They are in a 4-team race effectively with just 1 playoff spot, so it's the game they really need to win. Let's get to the starting lineups without further ado. The Nighthawks are 3rd in the North Division, 18 wins and 22 losses under first-year manager Matt Paws.
They lead things off with Dylan Palmer at second base. He's followed by Darius Myers and Ryan Cesarini. Steve Harrington bats cleanup. He's in right field. Marco Ali bats 5th at 3rd. Matthew Russo is the DH batting 6th. Demarius Rodriguez, the newly committed Rawlings Tar, he'll be a catcher and batting 7th. Jake Bullard bats 8th at first base. And then Tyler Long, the shortstop, bats 9th.
The starting pitcher for the Upper Valley Nighthawks is Teddy Tolliver, senior right-handed pitcher from Lehigh University, who's 1-1 with a 2.53 ERA in 5 starts this season. For the SwampBats, their defense looks like this. The pitcher is Eric Chalice Jr., sophomore lefty out of Kent State, 2-2 with an ERA of 3.03. And Jackson Owen is the catcher. Garrett Rice is at first base. Bryant Padilla is at second. Tony Livermore at shortstop, and Evan Goforth at third. Blake DeLavalier is the left fielder. Jordan Smith at center. And Devin Taylor man's right. 87 degrees, sunny and humid this evening in Keene, New Hampshire. Home finale this season for the SwampBats, and Eric Chalice Jr. deals outside to Dylan Palmer. The first pitch of the game at 6:34 p.m. Eric Chalice Jr., mid-80s with the fastball. He's a precision guy. He's a ground ball to second base. Padilla charges from the infield grass. He throws out Palmer's. Rice stayed out of the bag.
And for Padilla, that's a tough play because Palmer has so much speed. He needed to make throw on the run, easy for me to say, but he did so with his momentum taking him away from the first base. Really difficult play he made look easy.
So now it'll be a Darius Myers, the center fielder from Louisiana Tech, who's turned it up this season with the Nighthawks, batting .329 with a .369 on-base percentage. He was an all-star this season. 2 homers and 16 RBIs, and he laces one into right field for a base hit. Evan Taylor picks it up near the line, a 1-out single for a Darius Myers at the top of the first.
That's Myers' approach. He swings first pitch nearly every time, and usually he sits fastball, but that time got the breaking ball from Chalice, stayed through it, and able to send it opposite field for a base hit. Nice work there by the Nighthawks center fielder.
Eric Chalice Jr., 6'1", 190 pounds, out of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. He's a sophomore of the Kent State University Golden Flashes. Now he pitches to Ryan Cesarini. St. Joseph's an all-star. Left fielder on the outside corner for strikes. Cesarini batting .278 with a .358 on-base percentage. No home runs, 12 RBIs. Important to keep in mind, Ian, Myers is a stolen base threat at first. He's got 16 and 20 tries this season. Harder against the lefty, though, as Chalice throws over.
He slowed down the stolen base pace, though. recently, and that's come with moving down in the lineup, not really higher up in the order where he's been leading off most games, moving down to the 2 spot and serving more the purpose of moving runners over.
Cesarini swings through an Eric Chalice fastball, and it's not being two there. He's got a good secondary league. He's bluffing to go, and time is called because they found a ball on the warning track, like Delamalier did.
Keen eye by Delamalier. It's something that could have gone unnoticed and caused some trouble.
Yeah, so he could have on the playing field. Really, if he was sneaky about it, he maybe could have had an opportunity to take advantage. He was there, nobody else did. 0-2 on Cesarini. Let's wait. Deals. Fouled off on an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-2. 87. That's around where Eric Chalice Jr. will top out. He throws 5 pitches, a 4-seamer, a 2-seamer, a slider, changeup, and a curveball. He hits his spots, and he's got very good numbers on the season in 6 starts. 2-2, an ERA of 3.03, walks and hits per inning, whip of 1.12. There goes the runner, swinging a miss, strike 3. The throw to second, though, is not in time. It's the 17th stolen base of the season for Darius Myers.
It's a good count to run on because you expect breaking ball. However, Chalice did ramp up on the fastball, up and away, got the swing and miss, but the throw from the catcher 0-2 late to nab Myers. So
now it's Steve Harrington, the right fielder from Hofstra, is a teammate of leadoff hitter Dylan Palmer. Harrington batting .219, .311 on base percentage, a homer and 12 RBIs. RBI chance for him here at the top of the first. Time call by the batter Harrington. Eric Chalice Jr. in 6 starts. He's shown 26 and 2/3 innings, given up 26 hits and 12 runs, 9 earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 31.
It's really been the ace of this SwampBats pitching staff.
He sure has to this point of the season. Pitch just misses. It is 1 ball and no strikes. That's had Dylan King make 5 starts this season. Pitched a 3.15 ERA. Probably would have been considered the ace of the first half, but in the second half of the season, Eric Chalice has been every bit of an ace for the SwampBats. And he's just a strike thrower. 4 walks and 31 strikeouts on the season coming in. Those are really impressive numbers.
That'll serve you really well here in the NECBL with the wood bats. As long as you throw strikes, you'll have success.
1-0 pitched, down and away. It's 2 balls, no strikes on Harrington. Familiar position here for Eric Chalice Jr. Behind of the count. Dimensions at Alumni Field is small. 354 down the right field line. 325 down the left field line. When it gets really short in center, it's 352 to the deepest part of left center field. 2-0. All a strike by the home plate umpire, J.C. Fernandez. Rick Forces at first base, and Christopher Lima as the umpire at third. Myers on second, he singled and stole. Chalice trying to take care of business against Harrington. Steps off Ian. Interested that 4 of the first 6 in the Upper Valley Nighthawks batting order are lefties. They've got 2 righties and a switch hitter on the bench, and Eric Chalice Jr. is a guy who pitches very well against lefties.
Oh, it's just a matter of who they have left here on the ball club, and it just so happens a lot of left-handed bats.
Check swing. The home plate umpire, J.C. Fernandez, says he went around on the 68-mile-an-hour curveball, and it's 2-2.
And that's just such a tough pitch for a batter, especially when you're sitting fastball, to hang back on. 68, chances are you're already committed all the way through your swing, too late to hold up, as Harrington showed.
Two and 2. Champed up. Have it go forth. It foul crowd. Can't come up with it.
That's a tough one for Goforth. He was backtracking there, starting to backpedal, running out of room there in foul territory. Now there is an offense to that part of the yard, just a chalk line signifying what is and what is not in play. So he was towing that line, reached up, could not come up with the baseball.
So Braden Horton yesterday make a spectacular catch like an NFL wide receiver, first baseline, and near the edge of playable foul territory. 2-2 still. In there, strike 3 call. Fastball at 88 miles an hour on the inside corner. Look at strikeout for Eric Chalice Jr. No runs, a hit, nobody, one left. For Valley nothing. SwampBats coming up. The NECBL on ESPN+. Bottom of the first. Upper Valley did not score in the top half. And here's the SwampBats lineup. They're fourth of the North Division, 14-27, coached by Sean McKenna. And Tony Livermore leads off at shortstop. Blake Delamalier, the left fielder, bats second. Devin Taylor in right will hit third. Garrett Rice is at first base, batting cleanup. Braden Horton, the DH, hits fifth. Jordan Smith at center will bat sixth. Jackson Owen, the catcher, hits seventh. Evan Goforth at third base, batting eighth. Brian Padilla at second base, batting number 9. Against the righty, Teddy Tolliver, 6'5", 220 from Mason, Ohio. Senior at Lehigh University in Pennsylvania. First pitch to Livermore, the all-star from Northwestern, is low.
And Tolliver, a dominating presence on the mound, 6'5", 220.
Livermore batting .250 with a 327 OBP. No homers at 7 RBIs for the infield utility man. Play outfield as well. 3-0 on Livermore. Teddy Tolliver's only walked 5 batters in 5 starts this season, so it's an uncharacteristic start for him. See if he can find his strike zone on 3-0, and he cannot. Ball 4. Pitch walk to Livermore.
Take a quick look at the Upper Valley defense. Behind Teddy Tolliver, Jake Bullard, Dylan Palmer, Tyler Long, and Marco Ali, right to left across the infield. Then left to right across the outfield, Ryan Cesarini, Adarius Myers, and Steve Harrington. Tolliver will be throwing to Demarius Rodriguez behind the plate. And Tolliver, you mentioned only 5 walks this season. That was his 6th. His last time out, though, against North Shore, he did plunk 3 batters. So not showing in terms of the walks, but the free passes were there in that difficult outing.
There's Blake Delamalier from Jacksonville University. He takes a strike. Blake batting .217 with a 316 OBP, 6 homers, 15 RBIs. He was the NECBL Player of the Week last week. A wide honor awarded every week to 1 hitter and 1 pitcher. He was the best across all 13 teams last week. Swinging a hot bat. Fouls a pitch over to the right. Wilson Ponds over there at the first base side behind the grandstand here at Alumni Field. 2-2.
And his success went back to getting success against Upper Valley through the first couple of games. Only 1 hit, but 2 hits in his last 2 against Upper Valley. Really starting to find the swing of things against a strong Nighthawks starting staff.
Threatens to take off, but doesn't, and Blake lines one into left center field. That is down in the gap, rolling to the wall. Racing around third, Tony Livermore. The relay throw home from Long is not in time. An RBI double for Blake Delamalier, and the SwampBats lead 1-0.
Just a well-placed batted ball as we take a look here on the replay. Pitch, a breaking ball hanging over the heart of the plate. Delamalier got all of it, just missed a home run by about 10 feet. Good relay from Upper Valley, but the throw well behind at the plate. And Demarius Rodriguez also unable to corral the throw. And the SwampBats take a 1-0 lead in the first.
So 1-0 Keene, and now it's Devin Taylor, who was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year last spring with the Indiana Hoosiers. And he takes and gets ahead in the count 1-0. Taylor at All-Star this summer, 310, 365 on base, 8 homers at 29 RBIs. He hit his 8th homer in the 4th inning yesterday, a 3-run shot, and a 6-5 win over the Vermont Mountaineers. Tolliver misses again. It's 2-0. Teddy Tolliver They get 6'5", 220 pounds from Mason, Ohio. 5 starts out the season, 1-1 with an ERA of 2.53. It's been very good. 21 to the third innings, 15 hits, just 8 runs, and 6 earned. He's walked only 5 coming in. It struck out 20. The whip, very impressive at 0.94. A great start for him in this game. Doesn't get any better with ball 3 to Devin Taylor.
And Taylor, you mentioned all the freshman of the year for the Big Ten, all first-team Big Ten. Only 2 players to do that prior to him at Indiana. Alex Dickerson and Sam Travis went on to have big league careers, and both now play for the Long Island Ducks in the Atlantic League.
3-0, ball 4. Couple of 4-pitch walks issued by Tolliver with a double in between.
Seems to be he's a little bit frustrated on the mound. Can't command his pitches. Seems to be a little bit wild. Doesn't want to get in the zone. The one time he did, Delamelier turned on it. So we'll see if he can come back in the zone against Garrett Rice, a guy who's had a lot of success against Upper Valley this season.
Rice, a first baseman from Missouri Southern State, a second-year SwampBat, batting .221 with a .317 OBP, 6 homers, and 18 RBIs. He had a grand slam on opening night way back in early June against the Nighthawks in the first inning.
And he also homered on the 22nd when these two teams met in a 16-10 victory for the SwampBats. He's been swinging a really good bat here against Upper Valley, .333 average against them on the year.
Up and in. 6 straight balls now thrown by Tolliver, who also threw 4 straight balls to start the game. And a mound visit now. Give us a chance to tell you about the NECBL's fan survey. Your feedback is needed to help the league continue to build and grow. Visit survey.necbl.com. One lucky winner will receive a $500 Visa gift card, and 10 other fans will win an NECBL League hat. The survey is live now, so don't wait. Visit survey.necbl.com to have your voice heard and out there for your chance to win. And if you're unfamiliar with the NECBL, this may be your first time watching the league on ESPN+. It's one of the premier summer leagues of the country, with future major leaguers abounded across the team's rosters. 50 players who are alumni either this year or past years of the NECBL. More than 50 either drafted or signed this summer by Major League Ball clubs. So 2-0 on Garrett Rice. Takes outside 3-0. And we get some of the best players, college baseball players from all over the country. Spend summer in New England, compete for one of the 13 clubs across all 6 New England states. 3-0. There's a strike. And a badly needed one as well.
Exactly right. Exactly right. He needs to pour the ball in the zone here. Doesn't matter if it gets hit or not. You can't afford to allow so many free passes early in a game.
This is not an enviable position for Tolliver. Rice is a hitter who will punish any mistake. That's outside. Ball 4. He missed it 86 miles an hour with a fastball. He's walked 3 of the first 4 batters, and all 4 have reached. And Upper Valley is in big trouble here in the first. Already 1 run in. The bases loaded for Braden Horton, an all-star, the DH from Liberty University. Hitting .245 with a .373 on-base percentage, 5 homers and 10 RBIs. Delamelier at third, Taylor at second, Rice at first with nobody out. First pitch swinging, Braden fouls it off his right shin.
Yeah, it's an interesting approach there from Horton, swinging first pitch after Tolliver just issued a couple free passes, only throwing 1 strike to both Taylor and Rice. So aggressive approach from Horton, hoping he was getting a first pitch fastball down the middle, just a little bit low. Out of that zone from Tolliver, got the swing and foul tip.
That was in the strike zone. 86-mile-an-hour fastball from Teddy Tolliver. Hawks have Marco Ali even with a bag well off the line at third. Everybody else is back in the infield. Trade a run for 2 outs. He misses, shot it in with a fastball. 1-1 on Braden Horton. This is concerning, Ian, for the Nighthawks, to say the least. They are not at full strength of the bullpen. They played a doubleheader yesterday, and they play a doubleheader tomorrow. They've got limited guys available behind Tolliver. They need some length out of their starter.
And especially when the doubleheader tomorrow is against their arch rival, the Vermont Mountaineers. The Governor's Cup on the line over the next 2 days. Upper Valley needs 2 wins to secure that rivalry trophy.
1-2. Swing at him, his strike 3. 88 miles an hour at the D's. And Horton is the first out of the game for Tolliver. Still the bases loaded now with 1 out for a power-hitting, speedy center fielder from George Mason University. Jordan Smith batting .220 with a .298 on-base percentage, a homer and 5 RBIs. And when Jordan is in center fielding, he's going to be mic'd up today. Not on our broadcast, but on SwampBats social media pages. First pitch swinging, flies one out toward right. Harrington back toward the corner, and he makes a catch in fair territory. Tagging from third to score is Delamalier. Taylor moves up to third. It's a sacrifice fly for Jordan Smith. His 6th RBI of the season at his 2-0 SwampBats.
Well, that's a really good play out there by Steve Harrington, a guy who normally plays first base, both here for the Nighthawks and also with the Hofstra Pride, but with a lot of players departing, especially in the outfield for Upper Valley. He's been relied upon to play that right field position, and he showed good range to get to that ball, make the catch. The run does come in to score, but he takes away maybe even 2 or 3 runs scoring on that play.
And now it's Jackson Owen, the catcher from Mississippi, ahead in the count. Owen from Northeast Mississippi Community College this past spring, but next year he'll play for the 2021 NCAA champions, Mississippi State Bulldogs, from Starkville, Mississippi. Adding 164 with a 300 on-base percentage this summer. It's 2-0 on Owen. The number 7 hitter for the SwampBats. First 4 reached against Teddy Tolliver, including an RBI double from Blake Delamalier. Smith's sac fly just now, making it 2-0. That's inside, and it's 3-0. He's already walked 3. Throwing a lot of pitches in this first inning for a team that wants to save arms for tomorrow for their doubleheader. They've got a lot of arms unavailable again from yesterday's doubleheader. Oliver really laboring at this first inning. There's a strike to Jackson Owen.
Hey, to your point, a lot of pitches. He has already thrown now 24. Make it 25 pitches now after that last strike. So Tolliver really needs to get it in the zone here and get back to the dugout.
Rice at first, Taylor at third. All 4. 4th walk in the first inning issued by Teddy Tolliver. And it's pretty clear he just doesn't have it today. I mean, this is a guy who's walked 5 in 5 starts, and he's walked 4 in the first inning.
Yeah, it's just a case of where he's trying to do too much, trying to overlocate his pitches, and contrary to belief, that will lead to wildness. When you're trying to do too much, locate pitches on the corner, you're going to miss more often than not, and that's the case right now for Tolliver. Just has to hit the mitt of Rodriguez, get back to the basics.
Evan Goforth, the Indiana Hoosier. First pitch swinging, and he pops it up toward shallow right field, caught by the second baseman, Dylan Palmer. That retires the side. In the bottom of the first, the SwampBats score twice on 1 hit. 2-0 Bats. We go to the second. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Shona White, Ian Benke with you. SwampBats scored 2 runs at the bottom of the first inning, but it could have been more. Upper Valley still in a game they really need to win, Ian. Give it the state of the playoff picture. 8 out of 13 teams make the playoffs this season in the NECBL. 3 division winners and the next 5 best teams. 5 wild cards in a 44-game regular season. Marco Ali, the third baseman from Marish, leading things off for the second against Eric Chalice Jr. Ali, in limited time so far this season, tearing it up at this level. 360 the batting average, 448 OBP. No homers, 3 RBIs. He had a 4-hit game the other day against the SwampBats at Upper Valley. Drop ball is short. This is Tony Livermore, and a high throw, and the swipe tag unsuccessful by Garrett Rice at first.
That shows why you always hustle down to first base on a ground ball. You never know what could happen. Seemed like a routine play for Livermore, but the throw too high at first base. Valiant effort from Garrett Rice, saving the ball getting away and maybe out of play, which would have granted the runner an extra base. But Ali will take it. He'll reach on the air.
He almost did connect with the swipe tag. There's Matthew Russo from Southern Mississippi. The DH batting 182 with a 299 OBP, a homer and 13 RBIs. A lefty against Sarah Chalice Jr., the fourth in the first 6 batters. So the way the playoff picture looks right now, Newport, Vermont, Valley, Mystic, and Sanford have locked down 5 of the 8 playoff spots. And the dirt and a block by Jackson Owen. Sanford, Danbury and Bristol. Sanford is in. Danbury and Bristol are almost certain to be the next 2 teams in. And so that just leaves 1 spot with 4 teams within a game of it, including the Nighthawks. That's how crucial these games are. So, pitch shouted. It's 1-2.
And to your point, Danbury has a scenario where they can clinch today. Now, they did lose game 1 of their doubleheader to the North Adams Steeplecats 8-2, but if they win their second game and if Ocean State and Upper Valley lose their games today, they are able to lock up a spot in the Fay Vincent Senior Cup playoffs.
1-2 on Russo, the pitch. Slider down and away. He didn't chase it. It's 2-2 with Ali at first. Ocean State is 18-22 with 1 tie. Upper Valley is 18-22 with no ties. So one thing Upper Valley knows is if they win their last 4 games, they make the playoffs. No questions about it.
That's the positive note. They control their own destiny, but with some very tough opponents coming up to end out their slate, 3 games in 2 days against the North Division leading Vermont Mountaineers, that's no easy task.
This is a big game for the Nighthawks. If they lose today, they might have to go 3-0 against Vermont to have a chance. Runner goes, and it's fouled off by Russo. For Valley, a pretty good running team. 74 stolen bases. They've only been caught 18 times. 74 swipe bags, good for 5th in the league. Ali's got 2 of them.
Between his season with the Ocean State Waves and Nighthawks, he's swiped 5.
2-2 on Russo. Out in front of a curveball. It's it a long way. Foul and out of play.
And that's unique here to Alumni Field, where sometimes you'll see fans scampering into the field of play to avoid those foul balls off the bat. That one, Russo sent a couple of fans scampering out towards the batting practice turtle down the right field line.
This may well be the best crowd of the season. The home finale this summer for the SwampBats.
Also staying tuned for the fireworks after the game.
That's right. I was going to mention those fireworks. You beat me to it. Time called.
It's an amalgamation of promotions here tonight for the SwampBats. You have a late celebration of the 4th of July, Harry Potter night. There's one more I'm forgetting, too.
Oh, there's Rainer Dental, Service Credit Union, Monadnock Ford, Janos Technology Services. It's all happening tonight. Foul fly to left, out of play. Giveaways, promotions, 50-50 raffle, games, face painting, prizes.
Host families being honored as well. That was the one I was forgetting.
Big night at Alumni Field. Summer sent off in Keene, New Hampshire for the SwampBats. 2 more road games this season. It for the home slate after today. Foul back. It is still 2-2 on Matthew Russo.
Russo's very stubborn here, putting up a long at-bat. This is now the 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up by Russo, spoiling a lot of quality offerings.
Good battle here. Over to first, and Ali back standing.
That's smart by Chalice, because that's been one point as of late the Nighthawks have struggled getting picked off on first base by left-handed pitching.
Another throw over to first. Chalice paying Ali a lot of mind over there at first base. The latest 2-2. A runner going, and it's foul back.
Well, Russo is starting to give a wry smile at the plate. He's saying, why can't I hit these balls fair? He joked during the season that every good ball he hit went foul. Well, that was not true in Martha's Vineyard. Hit his first home run of the year, but this time he's squaring a couple balls up, just foul. Can't keep them in the range of play. We'll see if that changes here with yet another 2-2 offering.
Fantastic at bat here by Matthew Russo. 2-2 again. Down and away. Missed with a slider. Russo would not chase.
And now if you're Chalice, it's the question, what do you throw? He's seen just about every pitch twice.
Payoff pitch. Looped foul. A wry smile by both the pitcher and the hitters. The at-bat continues.
This is such a great battle between these two guys. None of them wanting to give an inch. And Russo would really love to get the front foot in this one, put the leadoff runners on base for Upper Valley.
This will be the 13th pitch of the at-bat. Runner goes. It's lined toward left center. Back goes to Lavalier. It is gone! A marathon at bat ends in a 2-run opposite field home run. The second of the season for Matthew Russo, and we're tied at 2.
Well, they call him Big Roos for a reason. He gave that ball a ride to left field, opposite field blast. You don't see many of those in the NECBL, but 100 miles per hour off the bat, stayed with the pitch, and went where it was delivered on the outer half. Didn't try to do too much, just hit it where the ball was delivered, and he did so. An opposite field blast, second homer of the season, and that blast brought to you by Bruce Bolt, the official batting gloves of the New England League.
100 miles an hour off the bat, 368 the distance, according to our TrackMan baseball technologies. And now it'll be Damaris Rodriguez, the catcher, batting .235 with a .278 OBP. As the breaking pitch back, and it's 0-1. Damaris Rodriguez at Division II Rollins College in Florida. Will be a classmate of our very own analytics intern, Milton Dauber, here at the SwampBats.
And he just announced that he was going to Rollins, transferring from Post University a couple days ago. The Tars last season made it all the way to the Division II College World Series championship game.
Ground ball off the mound, up the middle. Base hit for Damaris Rodriguez. So the first 3 have all reached. The Nighthawks to the top of the second inning.
And for Demarius, it's just a simple approach for him. He does not strike out much. In fact, in his NECBL career, has only struck out 4 times. 4 times last year as a Valley Blues Sox, none yet in a Nighthawks uniform. And it's a simple approach. He relies on making contact and hit it right back up the middle for a base hit.
And now Jake Bullard, the first baseman from Stetson, batting .176 with a .306 OBP. A throw over to first. It's safe is a call by Rick Force. Rodriguez just got the hand in there.
Rodriguez having some fun with Rick Force. And Rodriguez is one of the vocal leaders here. And Chalice trying to catch him napping, talking some shop with the umpire, and a quick throw over as he was mid-conversation.
Bullard, no homers, 2 RBIs on the season. The Stetson righty. Strike on the fastball at 86 from Eric Chalice Jr.
And Bullard is coming off of one of his best offensive performances of the season in Game 1 against Sanford. 2 for 2 with a double and a walk.
Down low, missing the slider. Ball at a strike. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard this evening at the NECBL. Talked about the 6 of the playoff race, how things might play out. See how they are playing out tonight. It's now 1-2 on Bullard. And you mentioned the North Adams Steeplecats, who are eliminated for playoff contention, playing spoiler against the Westerners in Game 1 of their doubleheader. 8-2, North Adams winning. Game 1, Game 2 will be underway shortly. Time is called. Martha's Vineyard, the defending champions, who are on the outside looking in by only a half game. Up 2-0 got the Mystic Scooters, who have already clinched a playoff spot. I'll make it 6-0. Computer's ahead of mine, Ian. 6-0 Martha's Vineyard to the top of the second inning there. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Eric Chalice gets Jake Bullard with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, his third strikeout. He's got his first out here in the second inning. The batter will be Tyler Long from Mount St. Mary's, the shortstop, batting .250 with a .283 on-base percentage. No homers and 3 RBIs.
And Long, it's good to see him back in the lineup. The last time he appeared was against Keene, the last time these teams met on the 22nd. Another quick look over at Demarius Rodriguez. He had a small hamstring injury. He came down to the All-Star game, supported his teammates, but he was saying that his leg was in a lot of pain. Good to see him back in the lineup here for Upper Valley.
Rodriguez has taken over the primary catching duties for the Nighthawks after the previous starting catcher, Kevin Brugman, was signed by the Los Angeles Angels organization following the MLB draft. Brugman was the All-Star Game MVP just a week ago. Yield to first, no swing, says Rick Force. It is 2-0 on Long.
And Brugman, a guy that got the attention of his teammates, as a guy who always put in the work. No matter what he was feeling, even when he had some leg swelling, he was still hitting the gym, still a guy that knew what his body needed and what he needed to do to get to the next level.
Big swing and a miss there from Long, and it's 2-1. It's just so cool how you get guys here, these New England communities, for summer ball. One phone call and they're playing in the pros. High-level baseball every summer in New England. Oh, he's picked off. Beautiful move by Eric Chalice Jr. Rodriguez, no chance getting back to first base. Couldn't even get into a rundown.
Well, you mess with the bull, you get the horns, and that's what happened with Demarius Rodriguez. He was toying with Chalice at first base, dancing off the bag, routinely got a couple of looks over, but that time Chalice finally got the best of him.
So 2 outs. Long looks at strike 2. Real nice job by Eric Chalice Jr. Be throwing over so much over the course of this top of the second inning, and now you see why. 2-2. Way up and outside of the 9-hitter. It is 3-2. Oh, if it's not for that pickoff, this is a real high-pressure pitch for Chalice with the top of the order coming up next. It's 2 outs and nobody on here. Foul back by... Oh, he'll see a 7th pitch. The Nighthawks are making Chalice work here. 13 pitch at bat. Ending with a home run by Matthew Russo. 7th pitch of the at bat to Long is grounded into right field for a base hit. 2-out single for Tyler Long. A difficult second inning for Eric Chalice Jr. Started with an error. A 13 pitch at bat ending in a 2-run home run. A single but a pickoff. A strikeout. Another single for Long. So 4 of the first 5 have reached base. So that pickoff is huge. 2 outs and Long at first. It's still in Palmer, the leadoff man from Hofstra University, batting .259 with a .357 OVP. Speedy second baseman by 6 RBIs this season. You always think about Palmer laying down a bunt. He laid down a bunt earlier this year that turned into a walk-off for the Nighthawks against the SwampBats. It was thrown awry at first base in the bottom of the 11th inning. Fourth started in at third, but now he's back with a ball and a strike. Looping curve. Just missed.
Yeah, Goforth was cheating in there on the first pitch, seeing if Palmer was going to square and offer at a bunt, but since he had no intention of squaring, he caused Goforth to back off and play straight up defense.
This is high with the 2-1. 3 balls and a strike on Palmer.
After a really efficient first inning for Chalice, he's now up to 42 pitches. It's been a tough inning here as his workload has seemingly increased as the order gets through the second time.
3-1 to Palmer. In for a strike. Tried to, the oldest trick in the book, the duck. Good work on J.C. Fernandez. An automatic start at first, long, so Rice will play behind him. Payoff pitch. Grounded foul. Goforth was ready for it behind the bag in case it turned fair. And another long at bat by the Nighthawks.
And they're just making Chalice work here after they were really aggressive in the first inning, especially Palmer and Myers. Both swung on the first pitch. It worked out for Myers, not so much for Palmer, but this time working out the at-bat.
Loop toward shallow left, but it's the shortstop Livermore who makes the catch. That retires the side. 2 runs on the home run by Russo. We are tied at 2 in the middle of the second. The NECBL on ESPN+.
Turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the bars in the place. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is a teacher under pressure, now we blessed. Yeah, it's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Let's go.
First thing Bruce felt was quality, the consistency, knowing that when I take them out, they're going to be the same every time. And the second was to be able to see kids all over the country wearing the gloves that I designed. That's one of the coolest parts of this.
Ignite your athletes. Empower your coaches. Rally your community. Support every team with one solution with the Huddle Athletic Department Package. You put all your school's coaching tools under one roof. From recording to analyzing to sharing, with your Huddle AD package, you cover every angle. Equal access means equal opportunity, and equal opportunity means full potential. Let's take your department to the next level.
Two came, bottom of the second. The Yukon second baseman Ryan Padilla pops one up. Outfield Crass still at Palmer. Makes the catch. One pitch and one out for Teddy Tolliver. Here in the second inning.
Back-to-back pop-ups, 2 Dylan Palmer, 1 from Goforth. Ended a long bottom of the first for the SwampBats in which they scored 2 runs. But Matthew Russo's 2-run homer, second of the year, tied it. And now Teddy Tolliver has to clear the slate. A brand new start here after a rough first inning in which he walked 4 batters.
That'll bring up Tony Livermore, who walked on 4 pitches and scored in the 2-run first for the SwampBats. It's down low here from Teddy Tolliver. Ball and no strikes. Tolliver threw 27 pitches in the first inning. And now behind on Livermore 2-0. Our Chalice on the SwampBats side has already thrown 48 pitches through 2 innings of work. Livermore fouls the pitch away on 2-0. It's 2 balls and a strike. Back to those out-of-town scoreboard updates, Ian. Surprising scoreline in Vermont, to say the least, as Livermore takes ball 3. The Mainers lead Vermont 11-1.
Wow.
Bottom of the second inning in Montpelier. 3-1 grounded back to the mound. Oliver slips but recovers and underhands for the second out.
Well, if Teddy Tolliver is not 6'5", that ball might get over his head and into the outfield, but he uses his tall frame to snatch that one out of the air and an easy toss over to first. But now let's go back to that Vermont-Sanford game. Vermont has allowed 11 runs, only 8 hits for the Mainers, but Vermont just could not get an effective start out of Chapman. He gave up 6 runs, then Max Brulport gave up 5 unearned runs in relief. So the Mountaineers are playing from behind in a game that really matters quite a bit. Sanford with the win would pull within 1 game of the division lead.
Blake Delavalier swings and misses. Blake doubles in a run and scored in the first for the SwampBats. The 0-1 chop back to the pitcher. Another high hop for Tolliver, who, he lollipopped the throw, and Blake hustling down the line, beat it out. How about that by Blake Delavalier? That is why you hustled down the line.
That's exactly right. And it was Tolliver taking a little bit too easy that time. Now, of course, as a pitcher, you don't want to overdo the throw and blaze it to first, but you want to put enough mustard to make sure you get the out. Tolliver popped it up over to Bullard. The throw might have not even beat the runner Delavalier, but it was a little bit high anyways. Bullard had to vacate the bag.
Devin Taylor hits a grounder to second. Dylan Palmer throws him out, so mistake by Tolliver only causes him to have to throw 1 additional pitch. Hit 1 left. 2-2 as we head to the third. This is NECBL on ESPN+. Darius Myers leads off the third for the Nighthawks in a 2-2 game. He singled his first time up. He rips one down the right field line. This time should be extra bases. Devin Taylor's got a good arm, but he bobbles it briefly. And left no play at second. A double on the first pitch of the third inning by Darius Myers.
And once again, Darius Myers' aggressive approach. He says, I attack the game, so the game don't attack me. That's his quote that he lives by. A .435 average when leading off an inning, and that number only increases. Attacks first pitch from Chalice, rips it down the right field line for a double.
Here's Ryan Cesarini, who struck out his first time up. Myers, excellent speed at second. Cesarini threatens to bunt it, that pulls back. Takes a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. Out-of-town scores, Ian, are going crazier by the moment here. Still 11-1 Sanford over Vermont. That game in the third as Cesarini lifts one toward right. A well-hit ball. It's going to bounce a couple of times and hit the wall. Myers is going to score from second. Cesarini will trade places with him. And the Nighthawks take a 3-2 lead.
And that's a pitch from Chalice he might want back. A center cut fastball at 85, and Cesarini smothered it. 99 miles per hour on the bat, on the line drive, and keeping Devin Taylor busy out there are the Nighthawks. Back-to-back liners down the right field line, and the Nighthawks have jumped out with a 1-run advantage.
They're a good hitting team, even though they're just 12th in the league in runs scored. They're tied for first in the league in batting average at .253. Runner goes from second, and no chance for Owen on a ball in the dirt. 15th stolen base of the season for Cesarini. He's at third with nobody out. We'll see how the SwampBats play this on the infield. Now down 3-2. Looks like Sean McKenna is going to keep it back for Harrington. Struck out his first time up. $11-0 Mystic trailing Martha's Vineyard. That game of the second inning. So 2 playoff teams, Mystic and Vermont, getting blown out early on at home. 2-1. Danbury and North Adams scoreless at the bottom of the second of game 2 of that doubleheader after North Adams won the first game 8-2. Bristol 5, Valley nothing, top of the third there. And Newport leads Ocean State 3-1 at the top of the second.
And that Valley game, they're trailing by 5, but Danbury, with the game result in game 1, Valley can clinch the West Division with a win.
Line towards center, right at Jordan Smith, who's got a good arm. And it will not be tested by Ryan Cesarini, 1 out.
That's just more unfortunate luck for Steve Harrington. More hard contact, 98 miles per hour off the bat, but he's been hitting the ball hard just right at the outfielders. He had one hard line drive back against Sanford yesterday, and then this time a 98 mile per hour liner right to Smith, not even going to get a sacrifice fly out of it, hit too close to the infield.
Marco Ali reached on an error and scored in the second inning. SwampBats now bring the infields in with 1 out, or in the corners in, I should say. Go forth even with the bag at third. Rice not halfway in at first. Middle infield is still back. Swing and a miss. Behind a fastball. There's nothing in 2.
Finishing my thought, the Valley Blue Sox can clinch the West Division now with a win, or if Danbury loses game 2. So if they cannot come back, some of the biggest Steeplecats fans will call Holyoke, Massachusetts home.
0-2. Now back. Still nothing in 2. For context, and if you're not familiar with the NECBL season, this is the third to last day of the regular season. The penultimate scheduled day of the regular season, and Sunday reserved for makeups, of which there are plenty. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got it with a slider at 79 miles an hour. Couldn't have picked a better time for Eric Chalice Jr.'s 4th strikeout.
And that's a pitch that you might find on the account Pitching Ninja over on Twitter. Just got an absolute sword out of Marco Ali, a slider that he was nowhere close to making contact on. Ali, though, offered a late swing thinking it was going to dip into the strike zone.
Now Russo worked a 13th pitch at bat and hit a home run his first time. Here, first pitch swinging, grounds it to Evan Goforth, who's got a great arm. Shows it off there. A run for the Nighthawks on a couple of hits and 1 left. They lead 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Garrett Rice leads off for the SwampBats, who walked his first time. One of 4 first-inning walks by Teddy Tolliver. On one side, Tolliver has walked 4, struck out nobody. On the other side, Eric Chalice Jr. has struck out 4 and walked nobody, and yet it's 3-2 Upper Valley. Baseball a funny game sometime. Rice lines it into left, a base hit. Been an aggressive approach for the SwampBats. A lot of first-pitch swings, and a good one there from Garrett Rice.
And he picked a good pitch to offer at 84 low in the zone, and Rice launched it off the bat 101 miles per hour. Hard contact, nothing the left side of the Nighthawks infield could do. And as the SwampBats are trailing by a run here in the bottom of the third, looking to find the same success they had in the bottom of the first against Teddy Tolliver.
Now Braden Horton 0 for 1. Did strike out his first time up. That's the only strikeout so far for Teddy Tolliver. Came in with 20 strikeouts and 21 in the third innings on the season. One pitch. Just missing low. All at a strike.
And Horton, a guy really looking to get the bat going. That's now 6 strikeouts, 0 for 8 in his last 3 games. Trying to find the stride here down the stretch.
Chopped foul. Walter Cooley, SwampBats pitching coach, makes a play in front of the dugout. Ball at 2 strikes on Horton with the SwampBats trailing 3-2 here in the third. Rice has 2 steals this season. The SwampBats are the least aggressive base running team in the league. Last with 33 stolen bases. He's got a good eye, takes outside. Braden, the SwampBats leader in on-base percentage, with a 373 clip coming into today. 2-2. Fouls it back. A bit of back here for Braden Horton. Tolliver threw 27 pitches in the first inning, walking 4. Only 9 pitches, though, in the second inning. Whichever team gets to the opposition bullpen first, Ian, is going to have an advantage in this game in the later innings. 2-2. They just got a piece of it.
Another score update from Montpelier Recreation Field. Now 15-1 Mainers.
Oh my goodness.
That's just a crooked number. 11 runs in the
Chaos.
11 runs in the second inning. They're only in the top of the third.
He didn't score in the first inning. That is unbelievable. The Mainers really are the hottest team in the league right now. They've shored up a playoff spot, and they're chasing Vermont for the division now. It's an area that looked unlikely a couple of weeks ago. Foul 2-2. Sanford, a team that had been playing 500 ball most of the season, but barring a ridiculous collapse of epic proportions against the Mountaineers, up by 14 runs, they're going to go to 7 games above 500, and within a game of Vermont for the division lead. A foul back by Horton. Still 2-2.
And not only that, but you would secure home field advantage for the first round of the playoffs by winning the division. A lot at stake, not only in that game, but down the stretch here the last couple games of the regular season for both of those ball clubs.
2-2. Rounded foul. Great at bat by Horton. Last great at bat this ball game ended a victory for the hitter. Russo's 2-run home run on the 13th pitch. But it batted the second inning against Derek Chalice. 2-2 once more. And he caught him with a slider. Oliver beats Braden Horton with 79 in the dirt.
And he had a pitch to work with as well in that at-bat, so he could afford to go in the dirt, try to get the fish. And fortunately for Tolliver, Horton offered at it. Second time he's gone down swinging. The lone batter in the SwampBats order to strike out against Tolliver.
10-pitch at bat there, but it ends at a strikeout. Jordan Smith had a sacrifice fly his first time up. It's a fastball high here, and it's 1-0. Bats took the lead, 2-0 in the bottom of the first. That's in large part to 4 walks by Teddy Tolliver. But Nighthawks leveled the score with a homer in the second. Cesarini RBI double in the third, making it 3-2. Smith ahead in the count, 2-0. The teams that have played a lot of games recently, sending one of their better starters to the mound in both cases. Pitchers racking up high pitch counts for the first 3 frames. Smith swinging 2-0, launching one out to left, back at the wall, and it's gone! A home run for Jordan Smith, and the SwampBats are back in front. It's 4-3. Second homer of the season for Jordan, RBI 6 and 7. And you know what, Ian? That's about what Jordan Smith deserves. He's been robbed of a home run not once, but twice this season. 4-3 Keene.
And a no-doubter of a home run here at Alumni Field. 102 miles per hour off the bat. Now, TrackMan says 328 feet. I think that reading might be a little bit off. That ball seemed to travel quite a long way out beyond the trees and towards the parking lot here in Keene, New Hampshire. And that gives the homestanding SwampBats the lead right back.
Back in 4th game here. Jackson Owett takes a swing at a miss. There's nothing in one. We got a middle-in fastball on 2-0 at 84 miles an hour. Jordan is an aggressive hitter. And reason on that occasion. And the Bats the lead back. Owen walked his first time up. It's 1-1 here. 3 RBI day for Jordan Smith. 6th, 7th, and 8th of the season. Tips it into the middle of the catcher Rodriguez, and it's 1-2. SwampBats here in the 3rd inning. They're missing again, and it's 2-2. It's hardly been a comfortable half inning in this game for either pitcher. Grounder to 3rd. Up with it is Marco Ali, and he absolutely airmails it to first base. That's going to go out of play. By rule, Jackson Owen will be awarded second. Little too much mustard on the throw from Ali.
And that's been a sore spot as of late for the Nighthawks. Coming into this one, their last 4 games, they have recorded 14 errors in the field. Make that now 15 in their last 5. If they want to make a push for the playoffs, they really need to get that defense settled in. And third base has been a source of concern really from game 1. They've not found a third baseman who has been reliable both in the field and at the plate. And they need to settle in at that position here to find success.
Go forth. Checks the swing. They will appeal. Didn't go around, says Rick Ford. Go forth popped out in the 1st inning. His first time up. The infielder from the University of Indiana. Great third baseman himself. It's remarkable because he's a natural middle infielder. That ball scoots a little bit behind Rodriguez, who will throw back to second. Owen, though, able to get back to the bag. Ball was dropped anyway by Palmer.
You mentioned that Goforth is traditionally a middle infielder, and the Nighthawks have kind of had to go to that themselves. Marco Ali on Marist's website listed as a first baseman. In fact, on the NECBL website, primarily a first baseman as well. And also Tyler Long playing shortstop today, plays shortstop for the Mount. He's played a couple games at third base this season as well.
They'll appeal this swing as well. And Rick Force has passed the test to see if he was paying attention.
Long entered play today, a 250 average. 1 for 1 on the day with a single. Hacks through that, though. Effective breaking ball from Eric Chalice. He now has 6 Ks in the scorebook.
And beautiful looping curve there from Eric Chalice Jr. I think he's pitching better than the scoreboard would indicate. He's walked nobody and struck out 6.
Really just a couple of blemishes, the extra base hits. Quick pitches here against Dylan Palmer. Pitch low, though, for a ball.
He'll do that from time to time, just sort of throw off the hitter's rhythm. Be effective at it.
It's a very quick worker when he's in a groove, like he is now, 87 at the bottom of the zone.
It's funny, sometimes pitchers, it just takes them a few innings to hit their stride. It's not always the first couple of innings that are going to be a pitcher's best at any given outing. Maybe it's just now that he's settling in.
Chopped right in front of home plate. Tough play for Chalice. The lefty slings. Not in time, though. The speedy Dylan Palmer uses his wheels to beat it out for an infield single.
Really hard play for a left-handed pitcher to make. But it was too far away from Owen, and a good effort by Chalice. But as a lefty there, he had to grab it, spin most of the way around. And he probably would have been able to get most runners with that throw, but Dylan Palmer, one of the fastest guys in the league.
See if he gets the green light from first base with 2 outs and a Darius Myers to the plate. Myers 2 for 2 with a single and a double. Quick look from Chalice. The throw bounces in to Rice, but he corrals it. Myers has also scored a run in this ballgame. Another look over. And back safely is the base runner Palmer. Palmer stuttered back, but thankfully for him did not shift his weight towards second base. Long look. And now time called by Adarius Myers. So some mind games being played here by Chalice and the base runner Palmer. Does not want to give him second base. Palmer is a stolen base threat. Has stolen 12 this season. Delivers home this time. It gets all the way to the backstop. Palmer will head to second anyway. Instead of a stolen base, it goes as a wild pitch against Chalice. So he may be paying the base runner a little bit too much attention. Was Eric Chalice. He allows the free base. Chalice, the sophomore from Kent State, now has to pitch with a runner in scoring position. Myers, 16 RBIs on the season, entering play today. He's underneath that one, pops it foul. Myers has half the legs of the cycle complete. Does have a home run here at Alumni Field this season. Hardest one to get in this ballpark, though, is the triple. Another look over. The throw gets out into center field, but the shortstop Livermore able to get to it before Palmer could hop up. Darius Myers on the season does have 2 triples. That's thanks in part due to the triple-friendly dimensions of the home ballpark for the Nighthawks, the Maxfield Sports Complex in White River Junction, Vermont. Runner goes, swing and a foul ball out of play towards the stands in right field. Palmer will have to retreat towards second base. It's much easier to steal on a left-handed pitcher when you're at second. Stealing third, you don't have to worry as much about the sneaky pickoff move. Chalice has already claimed 1 victim in Demarius Rodriguez at first base tonight. Palmer dancing off second. The 1-2 up high. Count evens now, 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down and a runner on second in the bottom, or rather the top of the 4th. 5-4 the score. The Keene SwampBats in the lead. Runner goes. 2-2 is a breaking ball upstairs, and not even thinking about a throw was and an uncontested Palmer will steal his 13th bag of the year. Now the tying run 90 feet away for the Nighthawks. Chalice trying to escape. The payoff, fouled off. We have to do it again.
I think Eric is going to be nearing the end of the line. He's now over 80 pitches today.
83 to be exact, 84 on its way. In for strike 3. He strands the tying runner on third and escapes the jam. It's still 5-3 SwampBats here on ESPN Plus. This is the NECBL on ESPN Plus. 5-4 SwampBats here from Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. They lead over the NECBL North third-placed squad, the Upper Valley Nighthawks. And Blake Delamelier leads things off with a first pitch ball from Teddy Tolliver, who returns for another inning of work. Pitch count elevated 67 after that first pitch ball, but comes back with a fastball for a strike.
Touched on this earlier, Ian, but it continues to be the case. Both pitches, very high pitch counts. Chalice 85 through 4 innings. Tolliver 66 through 3.
That one misses low. The Nighthawks really looking for some length. They don't want to dip into their bullpen, use some of their stud back end relievers. That misses low. They did use a couple of them in yesterday's doubleheader against Sanford. Game 1 to be exact, they used a couple of back end arms. This grounded up the middle, a base hit right underneath the leg of Teddy Tolliver, kicked it up and out of the way. And a leadoff single for Blake Delamole. He's reached base 3 times, 3 for 3.
Blake has really heated up with the bat over the last week and a half.
They used Nate Kreider in game 1 of the doubleheader, and after not allowing a run over his last stretch of outings, scoreless inning streak in fact reached 10 innings. It was put to an end. He was charged with the loss in game 1. Here's the first pitch to Devin Taylor, up and away for a ball. Taylor has reached once tonight on a walk. He's officially 0 for 1.
Oliver has been in and out of the strike zone Ian, all game long.
This one grounded through the right side, a base hit. Delamolier will hold up at second as Harrington was playing in. Flipped into the infield now, back-to-back base runners. Back-to-back base hits now for the SwampBats in the 4th.
Might have had a chance to turn for third had he not had to stop and let the ball have the right of way.
Matt Paws out of the dugout. He signals to the bullpen, and we're going to get a pitching change. Teddy Tolliver's night is done. New arm coming in from the bullpen. Still 5-4 SwampBats, but they're threatening. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Zephyr is the official on-field cap of the NECBL. Also known as the Z-Hat, Zephyr is the authentic college hat with over 800 colleges and channels that same energy and creativity into building custom hats of all types for pro sports teams, clothing brands, and companies everywhere. Make sure you pick up your SwampBats and Nighthawks official on-field cap today. New pitcher out of the bullpen for the Upper Valley Nighthawks. It's the redshirt freshman from Hofstra University, Russell Hunter. And Jonah, he's pitching on his birthday here. How special is that?
That is pretty special. Birthday to Russell Hunter, one of many Hofstra pride on this Upper Valley squad, on and off the field.
I am a junior at Hofstra myself. Hunter, a redshirt freshman, in his 8 appearances so far this season, 10 and a third. An 0-1 record has allowed 13 earned runs on the year. Looking to cut down on that number. He is a strikeout pitcher. Has struck out 14 batters over his 10 and a third innings of work, including one outing where he was nearly untouchable against the Valley Blue Sox. The lone runner he allowed reached on a walk, but around that struck out 5 batters in an inning and 2/3. So he's looking to clean up a little bit of what Teddy Tolliver left behind. There's 2 SwampBats on base and nobody out for Garrett Rice, who's been a tough out all season for Upper Valley pitching, and this has been no exception. Reached base twice, once with a walk and once with a single. First pitch from Russell Hunter misses low, 87 in the dirt. Hunter did not appear this season for Hofstra due to an injury, took a red shirt. The graduate from Kennedy Catholic High School. Takes a look now, the 1-0. Is sent in the air to center field. Myers will turn around and watch it go. A 3-run homer for Garrett Rice. His 3rd against Upper Valley this season, and that bursts it open. It's now 8-4 SwampBats.
Garrett Rice knew it the whole way. He walked out of the batter's box, held onto the bat, and when the ball went over the fence, he flipped that thing about 3/4 of the way toward the SwampBats dugout on the first base side. Rice, his 7th homer at RBIs number 19, 20, and 21.
If you parked your car out there, you might want to go give it a look. Might have a dent, courtesy of Garrett Rice. 7th home run of the season. And the first pitch now to Braden Horton, who misses outside. For Rice, it's been an interesting year. No extra base hits outside of the home runs, but he has 7 of them. That's tops on this squad. As now this one popped in the air, long run for the left fielder Cesarini, but on the edge of foul territory, in fact to the left side of the left field foul line, makes the catch. So a good bounce back from Russell Hunter. The first pitch to, or second pitch rather, to Horton gets him to pop out. Now he'll face Jordan Smith, who his last time blasted a solo shot rather into the night here in the third. So he'll be looking to do more damage. Pardon me, it was a 2-run homer. Played at Rice as well, who reached on a single. So he's got 3 RBIs along with Garrett Rice in this ball game. These two batters responsible for 6 of the 8 runs driven in for the SwampBats. This rolled slowly to Hunter. Fields on a hop. The throw, no nonsense, to Jake Bullard. And there's 2 away.
Pitching line now closed on Teddy Tolliver. 3+ innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. Bats roughed up the 2023 NECBL All-Star.
And Tolliver in that All-Star game had a solid inning of work, only allowed 1 hit. Also recorded a strikeout, but touched up here at Alumni Field. Allowed 2 homers. That misses low now to Jackson Owen. The catcher has reached twice, officially 0 for 1 on his line though. A walk and an E5 is how he has reached base so far in this ball game. (1-0) it's a fastball up and away. Jackson Owen, you mentioned, Jonah, going to Mississippi State next year in his hometown of Starkville, Mississippi. And the regular season ends, Owen will be celebrating his 21st birthday. Coming up just in a couple days, July 31st. He's ahead early here to Russell Hunter, who will pick up the rosin bat, 3-0. The count now to Owen. Rio is outside, a 4-pitch walk to Jackson Owen. And for Hunter, this outing has already encapsulated some of the concerns this season. One is the walk. Coming into play today, he had walked over a batter in inning, 12 walks and 10 1/3, make that now 13 walks in just about 11 innings of work. And also the home run, he's allowed several this season, already given up one to Garrett Rice. That allowed both of the inherited runners to score. Now he's thrown 5 straight out of the zone as he allows one to Evan Goforth to fall behind. For the Nighthawks now, they have to keep an eye on other games going on around the NECBL to see if they can stay where they are in the playoff hunt. Trailing right now Ocean State on win percentage because of Ocean State's tie they had earlier this season against Vermont. They have one result going their way right now. That's the Newport Gulls over the Ocean State Waves, 3-1 in the top of the 4th. As this sent in the air to center field. And Darius Myers back to the wall. It's gone. Evan Goforth clears the scoreboard at Alumni Field. His first home run of the campaign. Puts a 10 spot on the board for Keene.
That is so great to see for Evan Goforth, one of the hardest workers, best personalities on the team, a real leader on and off the field, great defender. And he's hit the ball a lot hard, a lot this season. Finally has his first home run.
It's now a 5 spot in the bottom of the 4th for the SwampBats. They bust this one open. It's 10-4 Keene at their home field in front of a near capacity crowd. Ryan Padilla offers it the first pitch, fouls it straight back.
This This will all be good news for the Waves, the Navigators, and the Martha's Vineyard Sharks in the playoff race. This big fourth inning for the SwampBats.
Most notably for Martha's Vineyard, as the 0-1 fouled off again. In the top of the fifth at Dodd Memorial Stadium in Norwich, Connecticut, Martha's Vineyard carries a 13-2 lead over Mystic, and now if results hold this ball game and all games around the league, as Ocean State has just gotten a run closer to the goals down in the Ocean State and Rhode Island. If results hold, Martha's Vineyard now would have the last playoff spot as that gets all the way to the backstop. Coming into play, the Sharks trailed both Ocean State and Upper Valley by just half a game. But if results hold, it would be the Sharks now with a half-game advantage over those two ball clubs.
Sharks have been on the outside of the playoff hunt all season, even though they're the defending champions, but getting hot enough. Get a late push here. Might see them over the line.
There's a swing and a miss, and the side retired, but not before the SwampBats connect on 2 homers. They plate 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th. We'll head to a break here. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. And how about the crowd here at Alumni Field making a lot of noise, and they have a lot to cheer about because of the 5 spot put up by their ball club in the bottom of the 4th. 2 home runs, including one by that man right there, Evan Goforth, his first homer of the season.
Yeah, Evan Goforth, defensively excellent infielder. Good approach at the plate. Hit the ball really hard on the screws several times now this season. That's the first time he's hit one out of the park, and Garrett Rice has been hitting the ball out of the park all season long. He also had a home run in that 5-run bottom of the 4th, a 3-run shot for Rice.
His traveled 384 feet, one that he knew as soon as it left his bat. A high bat flip is a 10-4 lead now for the SwampBats. For a new pitcher coming in, it's Joel Rodriguez.
Joel Rodriguez out of Pasco Hernando State, going to Charleston Southern, he's announced recently for next season. 6'1", 205, sophomore from Cutler Bay, Florida. He's been one of the more reliable relievers this season for the SwampBats, making 3 spot starts. This is his 10th appearance overall. At 20 to 3rd, he's given up 25 hits and 13 runs, 9 earned. He's walked 16, struck out 19. 2-1 with an ERA of 3.98 this season for Joel Rodriguez.
He'll be facing off against Ryan Cesarini, leading things off for Upper Valley. They are chasing 6 runs here in the top of the 5th. Ian Binky and Jonah White on the call here on ESPN+, as Cesarini takes a first pitch ball from Rodriguez.
Rodriguez will sit low 90s with his fastball.
This sent up the middle. A nice play to get there from Padilla. Throw to first in time. Good range showcased by the UConn second baseman for the first out.
Rodriguez was 5 pitches, fastball, a cutter, curveball, a slider, and a changeup. Eric Chalice Jr., 4 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. No walks, though, and 7 strikeouts. Those last 2 numbers. I mean, Eric Chalice Jr., even though he gave up an number of hits, he really didn't pitch all too badly. The SwampBats 4 innings of length, which is very important.
Steve Harrington, a big swing, comes up empty for strike 1 for the Nighthawks. You gotta think they're getting sick of facing Joel Rodriguez. This is now the 4th time this season that he has worked against Upper Valley. That misses outside. Over those games, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 runs, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. Goes along with a 1-1 record. So the Nighthawks have found success against Rodriguez, but have not always been able to translate it into victories. As that gets away, it's now a 2-1 count. Rodriguez, in fact, the last time he saw action was on the 22nd against Upper Valley. Ended up getting the win in that 16-10 affair. A game in which the SwampBats trailed 7-1. As this is sent in the air, foul territory on the third base side. The third baseman, Goforth, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. that ball game at the Maxfield Sports Complex, one that the Nighthawks were feeling good early. 6-run lead, and then 13 runs for the SwampBats between the 6th and 7th innings. Turned it ugly for what was a pretty good crowd at the Max right before the All-Star break. As in steps Marco Ali. He's 0 for 2 today with an strikeout and reached on an error. Squares to bunt, pulls back, but the pitch catches the bottom of the zone at 92. Ali started off his Nighthawks tenure on fire, but has cooled down as of late. Takes this pitch in the dirt. He's been a valuable addition, though. Started the season off again with the Ocean State Waves, but was released from their roster, made his way up, crossed a couple states to come to Vermont. Late on a fastball there, now he's in a hole 1-2. Ali hails from Marist College, school out of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Long set, the 1-2. Pop foul, and we'll keep the count where it is, 1-2. Ali last season for the Red Foxes hit .311, 3 home runs. 23 walks, 41 strikeouts. Looking to extend the inning here against Rodriguez. 1-2, a breaking ball runs too far inside. And it gets a piece of Ali. So now a runner on base and a chance for Matthew Russo to do some more damage. His last time he connected on a 369-foot opposite field home run. And at the moment, that put Upper Valley back into this ball game. It was a 1-run deficit. But since then, the SwampBats really found their stride on offense. They've scored 8 runs in the last 2 innings to make it a 10-4 advantage. Matthew Russo found a high fastball, too irresistible, and couldn't hold up.
Tied him up with a high fastball there to Rodriguez, 90 miles an hour.
Russo from Madisonville, Louisiana, was the Tammany Parish Player of the Year in his senior year at the St. Paul's School, but he's in a hole here, 0-2, after a big swing. Russo was one of 3 Southern Miss players on the roster, but Nick Monastery departed as that's a high fastball, too high, and uncontested. Marco Ali takes second.
SwampBats with a 6-run lead. I'm really going to be worried about the batter, about getting outs. Too upset about those extra 90 feet for Ali, even though he's in scoring position now with 2 outs.
You might not want to risk it as well, throwing the ball out into the outfield, allowing him to get third base as well. Maybe a smart play there from Jackson Owen. The 1-2. Rounded to the right side. Padilla is there, tosses easily to first, and the side is retired. Joel Rodriguez works around a hit by pitch, and we head now to the bottom of the 5th. This is the NECBL on ESPN+.
Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
Welcome to Hurt Skirt or Just Hurt. Our first contestant is suffering from knee pain from a recent running incident. What do we think, audience? Hurt Skirt or Just Hurt? Why not try HurtSkirt? Make your recovery hassle-free with HurtSkirt, a patent-pending, stretch-to-fit, hot-cold therapeutic sleeve, proven to stay cold longer and still remain completely mobile. Drop the ice, skirt the hurt.
Curious about the awesome talent Kelly has? Well, here are some robotics specialists. This group works in telecom on 5G. They work on autonomous vehicles. Those are education professionals. Oh, and system analysts, contact center reps, biologists. There's data scientists, substitute teachers, mechanical engineers, not to mention people who work on-site and off-site. Kelly's got top talent in specialized and emerging skill sets, ready to help your business prepare for what's next.
Whether you're an island resident or planning a summer getaway, the fastest way to get to the Cape and Islands is by taking the New England League's preferred partner, the Steamship Authority Ferry. Visit steamshipauthority.com for more information. That's steamshipauthority.com. While the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, every team in the NECBL has to take the Steamship Authority to get to, is very happy with the result right here at Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. The Upper Valley Nighthawks, the team they trail in the playoff race, trailing the Keene SwampBats 10-4. Ian Binky and Jonah White on the call as Russell Hunter tries to stop the bleeding of sorts for the Nighthawks. They've allowed 8 runs the last 2 innings as the first pitch misses to Tony Livermore. Hunter in his first inning of work allowed 2 home runs. Point he's looking to improve upon. Very tough to do here with the hitter-friendly dimensions of Alumni Field. But 2 blasts that really had no doubt of clearing the wall at any of the ballparks in the NECBL, as heading the count is Livermore 3-0.
Check of the out-of-town scoreboard here. We talked about earlier. North Adams beating Danbury 8-2 and in one of their doubleheader. They lead 2-0 against the West Hitters, top of the 5th of Game 2. Doubleheader.
That right down Arch Street for a strike.
Steeple Cats and the SwampBats both trying to play spoiler today. Bristol leads Valley 8-2 in the 6th. Sanford leads Vermont 15-2 in the 6th. And Newport leads Ocean State 3-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Giving you those scores. Martha's Vineyard leads Mystic 13-2 on the top of the 6th. Blowouts in the NECBL.
3-2, too low for a ball, and a leadoff walk for Livermore. Jonah, you mentioned the Steeple Cats and SwampBats both playing spoiler here. They're both eliminated from playoff contention, but both ball clubs have been doing a really good job of fulfilling that role. For North Adams, they are leading a game right now against the Sanford Mainers, a game that's been put on hold twice due to rain, but they're leading that one by a run and looking to hold off for a win against a club on the up and up, as here's a swing and a miss by DeLamelier for a strike.
Livermore could have easily been picked off of first base there. He was caught in no man's land. Hunter was just unaware.
And now for the SwampBats, they got a win over the Vermont Mountaineers a couple nights ago. They are in position now for their second win over Upper Valley in 3 ball games. Fastball in for a strike, an 0-2 count to DeLamelier. DeLamelier on the night, 3 for 3 with the double. Also has an RBI and 2 runs scored. Hunter takes a quick look at the runner, now diverts his attention towards the plate. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Russell Hunter, and there's 1 down in the 5th.
7-mile-an-hour fastball, and DeLamelier is retired for the first time today. Second strikeout for Russell Hunter.
As Devin Taylor steps to the plate, we'll revisit some of the situations for playoff clinching scenarios. And right now, for those 2 ball clubs, not looking the best. Valley will certainly take it if Danbury ends up getting swept by the Steeple Cats, the Blue Sox would clinch the West Division. Runner goes, pitch up and away, but Rodriguez cannot corral it. It's a stolen base for Tony Livermore.
Fourth stolen base of the season for Tony.
But the Westerners, they had a chance to clinch a playoff spot, either if they swept the doubleheader or if they won, and Ocean State and Upper Valley lost with a split against North Adams. But right now, trailing 2-0 in the fifth. And the NECBL doubleheaders only span 7 innings. As this is popped up and out of play. Time running out for the Westerners to lock up a playoff spot. Now they're still in a pretty good position. Their magic number is sitting at 2 right now with a couple of days left to play. Still looking good to lock up one of those coveted Fay Vincent Cup playoff spots, but they'd like to get in there sooner rather than later. And they're also have a couple teams right on their heels. Runner goes, pitch low, throw down to third. It's up the line. Ali had to reach behind him. And another stolen base for Livermore. He started with the walk, but now finds himself at third base.
Livermore's got good speed. 5 stolen bases on the season with those 2. Aggressively stealing third, and it's the right decision.
He's noticed something from Hunter, makes it easy to run on. 2-1, sent in the air to right field. Tracking back is Harrington, now comes in. Makes the catch, runner tags, throw will come in to Bullard at first. It's now 11-4 Keene.
Taylor frustrated with himself for not getting all of that ball, but he'd be too upset with his 30th RBI of the summer. And this is a guy who arrived a week late to the SwampBats. He has just been tearing it up as expected for the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. It's an 11-4 game.
It was an 87-mile-per-hour center cut fastball he just got under. But it does the job. It gets the runners in. Now the bases are clear for Garrett Rice, who has had himself quite the ball game. 384-foot homer his last time. That goes along with a single and a walk. Now he's at a whole 0-2 against Russell Hunter. Garrett Rice only increasing his gaudy stat line against the Nighthawks on the season. Now 3 home runs against this ball club. Off speed too high. 3 of his 7 home runs this season, over 40%, have come against the Nighthawks. The 1-2. Down and away. And now the count evens up.
One of the interesting things, Ian, about the playoff race is there's not a lot of help to be had because there are 4 teams fighting for one spot. You've just got to take care of business yourself to stay alive. If you don't, somebody's going to overtake you. And unfortunately for Upper Valley, that is probably the case today. If they lose this game, they'd probably be leapfrogged by Vineyard, who have a huge lead over Mystic, and possibly by Ocean State as well, if they can come back and beat Newport.
A 3-2, smoked on the ground to third. Ali scoops the throw across in time, and the side retired. But one more run crosses on the sac fly from Devin Taylor. It's now an 11-4 Keene SwampBat lead. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. One of the fantastic on-field promotions here at Alumni Field. The fans chucking tennis balls at a SwampBat liveried PT Cruiser zipping around the warning track in Keene, New Hampshire. The PT Cruiser has now vacated the field and will turn back to baseball in front of a packed stands here at Alumni Field. A really good turnout for an end-of-season celebration here and the NECBL. The SwampBats not in playoff contention, but the record does not matter to the fans. A dedicated group of supporters still turn out and don the purple no matter what. As you can see, the PT Cruiser now pulling it into park behind the crowd. We'll see if anyone still has any tennis balls remaining. I see one being chucked towards it by one of the members of the bullpen. As that's Joel Rodriguez still on the mound for the SwampBats. He was provided with yet another run of cushion. It's now a 7-run advantage for the SwampBats, a team playing spoiler for the playoff hopes of Upper Valley. Despite a record under 500 on the year for the Nighthawks, 18-22, they were still only out of the wild card spot, the 8th playoff position, because of winning percentage. The Ocean State Waves have a tie, which results when the extra innings expire in the NECBL. The NECBL rules state you can only go 2 extra innings, so for a 9-inning game, once you go 11, you get there, and it's still tied, you shake hands and call it a tie. 1-0 to Demarius Rodriguez, too high for ball 2. Rodriguez hit his first home run of the season in the top of the 4th. Went 369 feet. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Also has a single on his ledger. Big hack. He was looking for number 2, but could not get a piece. As the moon overhead, sun is set. It's fully nighttime here. 2-1 upstairs. Got a great view of the moon here from the ballpark. Really interesting setup here. You got a barn out in right field, parking lot out in the left. You can see a mountain out in right field as well. Something you got to see to believe. The 3-1 upstairs, and Demarius Rodriguez has reached for the 3rd time tonight. So he's found a lot of success in the 7th spot, but Jake Bullard following him in the lineup, looking to get the bat going. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of punch-outs, falling victim to Eric Chalice Jr. twice, who struck out 7 Nighthawks batters. Another big swing and a miss there from Bullard. Bullard returned to the NECBL this season after spending last year with the North Shore Navigators, as now he's down 0-2. On his NECBL career entering play tonight, hitting .229 over 2 seasons. Also experience with the Vermont Lakes Monsters of the Futures Collegiate League, and he goes down on strikes for the 3rd time. Nasty off speed from Joel Rodriguez, gets the punch out, his first of the night. So now there's 1 out in the top of the 6th. It's Tyler Long to the plate for Upper Valley. He's 1 for 2. First pitch is a fastball upstairs from Rodriguez for a ball. Long was 2nd team All-Northeast Conference with the Mountaineers. Gives this one a ride in the air, but foul. Started the season, his sophomore season with Mount St. Mary's, with 3 multi-hit games. He's had quite a few of those here in the month of July with the Nighthawks. Really got the bat going. 1-1, a fastball for a strike. Quick look at Rodriguez. Throw not able to be held on to by the first baseman Rice, and Rodriguez will get back safely. He's got to be careful over there. He was picked off once by Eric Chalice Jr. Still dancing off the bag at first yet again.
You don't want to get picked off twice in the same game, especially when your team's down by 7 runs.
Every runner so important when chasing a big number. Tyler Long really choking up on the bat. Gets a piece there to stay alive.
Nighthawks aren't going to get back into this game on small ball. They're going to have to grind out at bats, take walks, and Hope for a couple of home runs with guys on base. Not unfathomable here at Alumni Field.
They've got 2 homers in this ball game. This rolled over to third. Third baseman playing in. The throw to second for 1. Throw to first. Not in time. Rick Force says Tyler Long beat the throw. It'll just go as a fielder's choice, but heads up baseball by Evan Goforth at third base, playing in as soon as Tyler Long choked up on the bat, and that allowed him to get the lead runner.
Yeah, I mean, Evan Goforth, you just seen it today. All around, really good player. And he's a smart play there. A lot of guys probably playing it on the grass wouldn't even think to get the lead runner, try and turn too. But Goforth, so smooth, turns, makes an accurate throw to second. Just enough speed there for Long to beat out the return throw.
Any questions about how his leg was feeling? Answered there. Beat out the throw down the line, as that gives Dylan Palmer a chance. He offers at the first one off the hands and fouled off. Palmer on the day singled his last time. 1 for 3 with the stolen base as he swiped third. Tyler Long has 2 steals on the season. Has been caught once as well. Oh, 1, a breaking ball outside. For Upper Valley, looking to get a run here. Don't want to let that lead stay at 7. Down the first base line, just fair, and grabbed by Rice. The side retired. Nighthawks sent quietly in the 6th. To the bottom half we go, 11-4 SwampBats. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Fans lining the foul lines here in the Granite State. An 11-4 lead for the home side. Donned in purple, the Keene SwampBats over the Upper Valley Nighthawks. Ian Binke and Jonah White on the call. And Russell Hunter back out to work for Upper Valley, facing Horton, Smith, and Owen for the SwampBats. And it's really just been a complete effort tonight for Keene.
Yeah, Horton coming up now has been arguably the best hitter, or one of the best hitters for the SwampBats this season, right up there alongside Devin Taylor. He's the only SwampBat in this game that hasn't been on base yet.
He'll look to do so against Hunter, and takes a first pitch fastball out of the zone. Hunter coming on here in a mop-up role now of sorts after allowing the home run to make it a crooked number for Keene.
Honestly, Ian, I would not say we're in mop-up territory
No.
yet. Given the field and the fact that the SwampBats are a bit short-handed in the bullpen behind Joel Rodriguez now, I think there's enough time left where you've got to still consider this meaningful action for Russell Hunter here at the bottom of the 6th, even down by 7 runs.
I say that because of what Upper Valley has done facing deficits in recent games. As there's a walk worked by Horton, and with that, every SwampBat starter has reached base.
I think the issue here, more than anything else for the Nighthawks, is are they going to be able to put up zeros? They've only put up 1 so far in the game. That was in the 2nd inning. I think it's not out of the question here that Upper Valley could add on a few more runs and make this game really interesting, but not if they give up more runs. And a good start for the SwampBats at the bottom of the 6th.
For Upper Valley, it's been a tale of 2 months here in this 2023 season. There's a first pitch up and out of the zone to Jordan Smith.
It has been, and they started 11-3. Were at that time one of the best teams of the NECBL.
Chad Sturgeon, the pitching coach, the recently named head coach of the Kimball Union Academy near to the Nighthawks home in White River Junction, will go out and have a talk with his hurler, Russell Hunter.
NECBL is excited to launch a fan survey, and your feedback is needed to help the league continue to build and grow. Visit survey.necbl.com. One lucky winner will receive a $500 Visa gift card, and 10 other fans will win an NECBL league hat. The survey is live now, so don't wait. Visit survey.necbl.com to have your voice heard and enter for your chance to win. We've got two teams today that have struggled on the road, but have had more success at home. The SwampBats are 9-13 at home. It's where 9 of their 14 wins this season have come. But Upper Valley is just 8-14 on the road.
And revisiting the point earlier, the month of June was really a good one for the Nighthawks. They finished that month 11-5, but since then a 7-17 mark in July, and that's because of the inordinate amount of rainouts that they've had. So many games that were scheduled to be at home ended up being played in double headers on the road. Some tired arms, some tired players in the lineup have caused this lineup to not be as potent as it might look on paper. And we called them the Cardiac Nighthawks earlier in the year. A lot of comeback victories and games that they made really close, but that tale has not ring true in the month of July. Games that have gotten away from them, especially early on. They were blown out in a game at home at the hands of the North Adams Steeplecats, a team that has really struggled this season. Then you also think about that 16-10 affair against Keene.
A game that Upper Valley led 7-1 going into the 6th inning.
Right, and then the doubleheader against the Newport Gulls, which they were outscored 23-2. Just been a struggle down the stretch. The 3-1 turned on into left center field. It falls, a base hit, and rolls to the wall. Around third and holding up there is Horton. It's a double for Jordan Smith, and that's now 10 hits on the night for the Keene SwampBats.
An offensive explosion for Keene. A couple of extra base hits to this game now for Jordan Smith. Second and third with nobody out, and the SwampBats, they are threatening now to bring this game into true blowout territory, even at Alumni Field.
Well, the SwampBats are named after the flying mammal, but you could be mistaken and think that they're named after the bats that they're holding at the plate right now. 11 runs on 10 hits.
The logo used to be a bat holding a bat. Actually, the logo, I should say, is a bat holding a bat. I should know my own team's logo. used to be Ribby was like, they changed it. It used to be Ribby breaking a bat with his claws or talons or whatever you call them. Now it's just Ribby getting ready to have a swing. The mascot of the SwampBats, you might imagine, he's a bat.
1-0 up and away. That actually quite reminds me of the logo history of the Baltimore Orioles. You used to have the Angry Bird snapping a bat in two, but then you had the Happy Bird taking a swing. Is it inspired?
They did the same thing with the Dolphins. It used to be a dolphin with a helmet. Now it's just a dolphin having some fun in the sun.
The 2-0. Fastball just outside. Now a 3-0 count, first base open, but really don't want to allow another base runner to load the bases for Evan Goforth, who already has a home run tonight.
You know, the thing is for the Nighthawks here, even with a loss today, they're not at all out of the playoff race. They will, assuming Mystic doesn't make a miraculous comeback against Vineyard, fall a little bit further out of a playoff spot, but as long as Ocean State doesn't beat Newport, and they're not right now in the 5th inning, Valley would be within a half game of a playoff spot still, even with a loss today.
There's a walk to Owen, and the bases are loaded.
Fourth walk issued by Hunter. 2 games tomorrow against the Vermont Mountaineers for Upper Valley, and then another game on Sunday, so they need to try and preserve their pitching as much as they can for those games. A pitching change here.
We'll see who comes on out of the pen. 11-4 SwampBat lead. They have the bases loaded. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Welcome back to picturesque Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. It's a new pitcher coming on to work and one that the Keene SwampBats are very familiar with. It's Nick Pappas.
Yeah, Pappas is up at 30, righty at it. UMass Dartmouth, junior from Stormville, New York. He gave up 4 runs in a third of an inning last time he faced the SwampBats, Saturday before the All-Star game.
He was one of the pitchers that, unfortunately for Upper Valley, were unable to hold down what was once a 6-run lead. Ended up losing that ball game by 6 runs in a remarkable turnaround for the Keene SwampBats. And he inherits a tough spot. Bases loaded with nobody out for Evan Goforth. First pitch to Goforth is fouled off.
Not surprised to see Evan attack the first pitch there. He is on it after his home run before. It's a good pitch with the bases loaded, looking to jump right on him.
Pappas came to Upper Valley late in the year after a phenomenal 8-game slate with the Geneva Red Wings of the Perfect Game League. Posted a 1.35 ERA over 13 1/3 with the Red Wings as he gets a strike. One concern from his stat line there, though, 9 walks, only 5 strikeouts over 13 1/3. Saw limited action in his sophomore season with the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth, a 4.0 ERA, 7 strikeouts over 9 frames. 0-2 rolled slowly down the first base line. It just gets foul. Maybe fortunately there, it bounded off the glove of Bullard into the outfield.
Piece of hitting by Evan Goforth. He's beat by a slider on an 0-2 pitch, but he's able to keep his bat down there long enough to get a piece of it and stay in the at-bat.
So Pappas looking to keep the deficit where it is. Stands at 4 right now for the Nighthawks. 0-2 to Goforth. Upstairs. Upper Valley dugout wanted the call, but too high, says J.C. Fernandez.
Goforth knows the strike zone as well as most.
12 walks this season for Goforth, only 17 Ks. 1-2, grounded to third. Shortstop long cuts it off, long throw, and they got him. Bullard with the stretch, able to complete the 6-3 putout, but a run does come in to score. It's now 12-4 SwampBats.
That'll be Goforth's 12th RBI of the season after he got 10 and 11 on his 2-run homer in the 4th inning.
How about that, Jonah? 3 SwampBat hitters now.
There's Milton. Milton Dauber, talked about earlier in the game. Our wonderful analytics intern. Just follow the numbers. Analytics.
Fastball right down Arch Street for strike 1 to Badia, but
A little camera shy, Milton.
as I was saying, it's 3 SwampBats now in the order with 3 RBIs, and they're scattered throughout it. As Padilla fishes at 1 in the dirt. Just remarkable production here from a SwampBat lineup that's been looking for consistency down the stretch, and they can play like this every night. They could be a real concern to some of the teams that they have to play down the stretch.
Yeah, Sanford coming up tomorrow. Again, they might be trying to fight for division title. SwampBats are last in the league in on-base percentage over the course of the season, but they've been getting on base at a much higher clip recently.
Well, they're coming into action today over the course of the season against Upper Valley, only hitting 196 as a team, but that number sent through the roof here tonight. 10 hits in this ball game, looking for more. Not this time, though. Padilla goes down on strikes. First strikeout for Pappas. Now there's 2 down for the top of the lineup and Tony Livermore. Catching up with that Sanford game, the Mainers have slowed down the offense considerably. It's now 15-4 in the bottom of the 7th, but they're looking to hold on to move within 1 game of the North Division lead. I believe they would hold the tiebreaker over Vermont on head-to-head record. Although Vermont does have that tie, which throws a wrench into things.
Yeah, tie counts as 1/2 win and 1/2 loss when you calculate the standings. It'll get interesting over the next couple of days when we start really digging into the tiebreaker scenarios. The season comes to a close.
Now, from what I've heard, the Futures League has an interesting way of avoiding ties. They go to a home run derby following the conclusion of the 11th inning. So the same deal here in the NECBL, 2 extra innings, but if it stays tied, they break out the L screens and they go to a swing-off.
I worked in the Alaska Baseball League the last 2 summers, and not for those years, but this year they've adopted another radical way to avoid ties and avoid marathons. If it's tied after a couple of extra innings this summer in the Alaska League, the home team gets to choose whether to bat or play defense, and whoever bats gets a runner at first with nobody out. If they score, they win the game. If not, the defense wins the game. How do you like that?
That's interesting. Well, here in summer ball, you're all about getting better, so that would improve situational awareness both for offense and defense.
I like it. You know, it's obviously not really an ideal scenario, but I like it more than a home run derby, and I like it more than a tie.
3-1 in for a strike. No, it's a ball. I thought I heard someone call out strike, but I'm mistaken. It's ball 4. The bases are loaded.
This is a guy who's got grand slam kind of power. Delamele hasn't hit a grand slam this season. Bats have only hit 2, both against the Nighthawks. Garrett Rice in the first inning of the season. And Devin Taylor last Saturday. Blake does have 6 home runs this season, and he's 3 for 4 today.
Strikeout his last time, the lone blemish on his stat line. As he gives this a ride into left field, it's a foul ball. Just missed a potential bases clearing extra base hit by a matter of mere inches, did Blake Delamele. So an anticlimactic foul ball, and everyone has to return where they are now with an 0-1 count. That nearly put this game to bed, but instead, we stay with a 12-4 ball game. Pappas gets his sign. Now the 0-1. Low for a ball.
You're Pappas, you don't really want to get deep into this count with the bases loaded.
Exactly. You saw what he can do, but you can't be scared to throw him a strike. You got nowhere to put him. And especially with Devin Taylor on deck, things won't get any easier.
It sure won't.
1-1 sent in the air to right field. Could be playable in foul territory for Bullard. He reaches up and makes the catch. Well, the SwampBats lead, the base is loaded, but they do get one more run. It's a 12-4 home team lead. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Welcome back here on the NECBL on ESPN+. And taking you the rest of the way home on the call, here's the voice of the Keene SwampBats. It's Jonah White.
Thank you very much, Ian Benke. Our producer, executive producers, PJ Moynihan at Digitalized Film. Ryan Hearns on the graphics. Our director is Stephen Pierce. And a shout out as always to our excellent camera crew. Here with the Keene SwampBats. Joel Rodriguez pitched a scoreless 5th and a scoreless 6th in relief for the starter Eric Chalice Jr. He's back out here for the 7th inning. SwampBats have a 12-4 lead. 4 runs on 8 hits, 1 error. And 6 men left on base by the Upper Valley Nighthawks. 12 runs on 10 hits, 1 error, and 8 men left on base for the Keene SwampBats. Darius Myers, Ryan Cesarini, Stephen Harrington, 2, 3, and 4 for the Nighthawks, 4th time around the order. Starting with Myers, who's 2 for 3.
And for the Nighthawks, this has been a trend that has continued throughout the season. They've gotten runners on base. That's not been an issue with 8 hits, just trouble scoring them.
Myers has singled and doubled in this game. He pops one up in front of the mound. Rodriguez called off by Evan Goforth, who makes the catch. You don't usually watch your pitcher making those plays, and Evan Goforth protecting Joel Rodriguez there by making the call.
It looked like Rodriguez wanted to take that ball, but wisely laid off, let his third baseman go and take the ball because he had the best route to it, and also just the tradition of usually not having the pitcher feel the fly ball if you can avoid it.
You know, it's funny, Ian. I've never really quite fully understood that. This Ryan Cesarini is 1 for 3 with an RBI double in the third. He's also struck out and grounded out. He goes straight to the backstop.
I suppose it's because the infielders have more practice and experience fielding those pop-ups. It's the pitchers usually that you see air-mailing the throws to first, which we've already seen today and Teddy Tolliver doing, but it's just, I guess it's one of those things, it's the way it's always been, and few pitchers go against the grain.
I get that, and I understand it's the way it's always been, but I don't know, I feel like most pitches could catch a pop-up. It's not as hard as reaching down, turning, and throwing to first base. You're not going to get the yips catching a pop-up, I wouldn't think. I remember some years back, David Wright, Lucas Duda for the Mets, colliding on a pop-up on the infield. Two-pointer infielders, resulting in an injury. I don't know, just a weird one for me. The pitcher can't catch a pop-up.
It also seems to be one of the most common bloopers in baseball. It's just a pop-up on the infield where nobody's sure who's going to catch it. But maybe the pitcher, you figure it's too many cooks in the kitchen with 5 there converging on one pop-up.
2-2 foul away. And you're right, it is universal. It's not like it's one of those where some teams do it and some teams don't. No, across the board at all levels, the pitcher doesn't catch a pop-up if he can avoid it. But it's just an interesting thought to have. 2-2 on Cesarini. Line to center, caught by Livermore. That ball wasn't getting to center, said Tony. 2 outs.
Hard contact, 100 miles per hour from Ryan Cesarini, but that's just been another trend for the Nighthawks. Hard contact that's finding leather instead of grass, and that one rings true again. Tony Livermore takes away a base hit from Ryan Cesarini.
Steve Harrington is struck out, lined out, and foul out. He's 0 for 3 already, and it's time to play Guess the Attendance.
Oh, no.
Good crowd tonight.
It's high.
Know that. Harrington takes outside one. There's no stakes in this game. You can give me a guess, even if it's way off. How many people do you think are here?
Is it a multiple choice thing? Or
no, multiple choice.
Okay.
Yes, if you get close, you get close. I don't expect you to get it on the dot.
Let's see here. It's a really well-attended game tonight. Hats off to the crowd.
I'll give you a hint. It's our biggest crowd of the season.
All right. It's always good to hear. Let's go with 1250.
1250. You are off by about a factor of 3. Crowd is 3,850. Missed it by 2,600. 1-2 the count on Stephen Harrington. It's okay. We won't kick you off the air. There was no prize anyway.
Blows Upper Valley out of the water.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Caught on it. Miss strike 3. A 1-2-3 seventh for Joel Rodriguez. His second strikeout. And he's now throwing 3 scoreless innings. We stretch with the SwampBats up 12-4. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Devin Taylor leads off the home 7th. And a check swing foul headed our way and thudding off the press box roof. Ian, you were ready for that. I'll give you credit. You were ready.
I was ready. We got a net in front of us. It would be very difficult for one to come in the press box here at Alumni Field. But in case it did, I was on my toes.
I've been waiting all season for a ball to come into the press box, which is possible here. We've got a cutout of the net for the camera. But waiting to try and get one out of ricochet. It's a pretty small hole, though. Haven't really come that close this season, but you never know. 1-1. Outside of Evan Taylor, who has walked, grounded out, singled and hit his sacrifice fly. 1 for 2 in all with an RBI and a run scored.
And that makes me think, which press box in the NECBL would you have the best chance of catching a foul ball in?
Oh, that's a great question. 2-1, line towards short, under the glove of the diving shortstop, Austin Beck. And a 2-hit game for Devin Taylor. Back in at shortstop for Tyler Long. Chance really to make that play. 101 off the bat from Taylor, and now it's Garrett Rice, who's 2 for 3 with a walk and a 3-run home run. Back to your question, Ian. That's a really good question, because you know, the first thing I go to a new press box, that's the first thing I try to figure out. Do I have a chance to catch a foul ball here? Not at Upper Valley.
Right.
I don't think any of our division opponents you have a chance. Rice takes in the dirt 1-0.
My mind goes to Ocean State. Because not all, sometimes you're down by the fence, but the one time that we went there, we were up in the press box, which is first base line, and there's no netting in front of the windows.
Huh. So you got to pay attention.
You do.
Rice fists one high in the air to center. Camping under it, Myers, 1 out. Ocean State, when we went to Ocean State, I sat at a table along the third baseline. I guess theoretically, yeah, that counts as a chance. Honestly, I was in a press box, but I think it still counts. That would be hard. I was right up against the fence. You're not really going to get a ball coming right behind the fence. It's unlikely.
Did help that the one time we went to Ocean State, their broadcaster, Nathan Robillard, was on vacation, not quite there yet, so they put us up in the press box. We called it right off the computer.
Horton flies it foul toward left and out of play. I think when you called it off the computer.
Yes. They did not have a soundboard for us, so we just spoke right into the computer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant you called the game remotely.
No. Have done that, but not in the NECBL.
I've never had the chance to call a game remotely.
Never matches the experience of being there.
Thinking 1 with Taylor at first. It's a very good question, yes. I'm still trying to think. Martha's Vineyard, it's been a while since we were there.
You're quite a ways up, though, in the press box. There is a netting there as well.
Grandstand, yeah. Let's see, there's only
Bristol, there's no chance.
12 other stadiums. Danbury, there's no chance.
We haven't been to Danbury, but take your word for it.
It's, I'm trying to think. Danbury is... Gordon swings and misses. That's the second strikeout for Pappas. Still Taylor stands at first.
I'm kind of running through all of it. I guess
we
the other
went to
one...
Danbury once. I think as a closed window. It's way on the third base slide. If there is a chance, it's very slim.
Also
Danbury.
a slim chance at Valley, but there is a chance.
I've not been to Valley or North Adams. It's 2 I haven't been to.
North Adams, there's no chance because you're up in the grandstand and there's a fence.
Smith has 2 extra base hits, including a home run in this game. Pops it onto the roof of the first base grandstand, and it's 0-1. Mystic?
No, Mystic, you're up a ways.
Yeah,
and
you're
there's
too
a
far
window.
behind.
Those would be my 2 responses: Ocean State and then Valley.
Yeah, it's not too many where it's really very possible. It's certainly a dream, Ian, to make a catch mid-call. I'll admit that. Smith lines one down the left field line. He's got a 3-hit game. Have to stop at first of this one. Jordan Smith, who's got good speed, has a chance to get up again, an outside chance. It's now a triple short of the cycle.
Outside chance, but with the way the SwampBats have been hitting, they got a couple more guys to the plate here in the 7th. You can send him up in the 8th with a chance for a cycle. He's already got the home run out of the way, which is difficult to do, even with the dimensions, but a triple, really difficult to do. You figure you got to get it right down the right field line, have it roll all the way to the wall, but it is possible.
Jackson Owen has walked 3 times and reached out an error. He scored twice. Takes down low. Taylor at second. Smith at first. This one was pretty wild early on. It settled down in the last couple of innings. Owen gets jammed. Shallow center. Myers coming in. He'll put it away, and that retires the side. 2 hits, 2 runners left. After 7, it's 12-4 SwampBats. This is the NECBL on ESPN+.
With your vision and hard work, you're building your business into something to be proud of. At Westfield Bank, our business banking insight works for you. Technology that makes business banking easy. Loans and lines, large and small, and expert advice from the regional community bank that's focused on your business, your financial security, and the communities we share. It's the perfect partnership. Westfield Bank, what better banking's all about.
At Mountain One Bank, we're always getting a sense for which way the markets are going and tending to our customers' bright financial futures. And we also have a spokescoat.
Name's Mo. Nice to meet you.
First thing Bruce felt was quality, the consistency, knowing that when I take them out, they're going to be the same every time. And the second was to be able to see kids all over the country wearing the gloves that I designed. That's one of the coolest parts of this.
I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the balls in the breaks. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is a teacher under pressure, now we blessed. Yeah, it's one all, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Three scoreless innings so far for Joel Rodriguez. Eric Chalice Jr., the starter in this game, pitched 4 innings, so he's not eligible for the win. Rodriguez, it's a very good shot at that. Out for the 8th inning against Marco Ali, Matthew Russo, and Damaris Rodriguez, 5, 6, and 7 for the Nighthawks batting order. The game, the SwampBats took a 2-0 lead in the first. Upper Valley tied it in the second. A 2-run home run from Matthew Russo to the opposite fields on the 13th pitch of the at-bat. Upper Valley took their lone lead at the top of the third on back-to-back doubles from Myers and Cesarini, but the SwampBats went up 4-3 in the bottom of the third on Jordan Smith's 2-run homer. Added a run on a single by Brian Padilla to make it 5-3. Rodriguez made it 5-4 with a homer leading off the 4th. And bunting here, pushing one down the third baseline is Ali. Evan Goforth makes the play! Evan Goforth, have a day! A home run, a number of great plays in the field, and that's the best of the lot.
As we take a look here at the replay, bang bang play at first base, but what a throw from Evan Goforth. Made it close at first and got the call from Rick Force. Had to leap as he was throwing that baseball to get enough juice on it, but boy did he ever.
He threw that from mid-air. I don't know how he got anything behind that throw, but just brilliantly done by Evan Goforth. Russo takes that away. SwampBats scored 5 runs at the bottom of the 5th inning. 3-run home run from Garrett Rice, a 2-run home run from Goforth. They've since added a run in the 5th and in the 6th.
And some news beyond this ball game in the NECBL. Congratulations to the West Division champions, the Valley Blue Sox, who have clinched the West Division title despite trailing the Bristol Blues right now 10-4. They've done so because the Danbury Westerners were swept at the hands of the North Adams Steeplecats. Steeplecats successfully playing spoiler, and they have secured a West Division title for the team from Holyoke, Massachusetts.
Congratulations to the Valley Blue Sox. So 2 of the division crowns have been wrapped up. The North Division crown, though, has not yet been claimed. Raiders of the Mountaineers go to the penultimate day of the regular season, both with a shot at winning the NECBL North. Big swing and a miss, strike 3. Uso goes down, swinging at a 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Joel Rodriguez. It's his third strikeout.
And that North Division title gets really interesting tomorrow because the Upper Valley Nighthawks will head up to Montpelier, Vermont for a doubleheader against the team in first place and the Vermont Mountaineers, but Mountaineers only will have a one-game advantage if they somehow do not come back from an 11-run deficit in the ninth inning in that ball game. But the doubleheader there, and the Sanford Mainers will play the SwampBats up at Goodall Park in Maine. Lone game there, so a chance for a game-and-a-half swing total in that ball game, or the slate of games tomorrow. Gets really interesting between who can play spoiler in the North Division or if the teams in front can pull out a couple wins.
Tamaris Rodriguez is singled, homered, and walked. Switch hitting catcher batting left. He's ahead of Rodriguez here, 3-0. And the SwampBats will have something to say in that division race. They'll be at the Sanford Mainers for a single game, 6:30 tomorrow. Ball 4. Rodriguez aboard for the fourth time today.
He's had a really good ball game, but the attention for Upper Valley in that doubleheader against the Mountaineers, it's twofold. Not only for a playoff spot, but also for the Governor's Cup, the rivalry series between the NECBL's two clubs from Vermont. Coming down to the wire, these two teams scheduled to play 3 games in the season's last 2 days, and Upper Valley with a 3-2 advantage right now. An 8-game series. Since Vermont won last year, if they play all 8 games, Upper Valley would have to win 5. Vermont only needs 4, so both teams chasing 2 wins.
Bullard has struck out all 3 times. But now he's behind 0-2 after the curveball from Rodriguez.
Rodriguez has looked really good here in relief.
So good. A little bit overshadowed on the day by all the SwampBats offense, but this is 3 2/3 scoreless innings of relief from Joel Rodriguez. Sails a fastball to the backstop. Wild pitch will send Maurice Rodriguez out to second base. Still a 1-2 count now. Watching Bullard, the Stetson first baseman.
Mentioned the score in the Bristol Valley game, 10-4 right now. If that holds, the Blues will jump over the Danbury Westerners for second place in the West Division, but most notably in the playoffs, as Bristol would take the 6th seed. Danbury falls to the 7th spot.
1-2. Fastball away. Balls and 2 strikes. Bristol, I don't believe, would clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight. Maybe just one more win to do so.
Yeah, their magic number sits at 3 right now, so if results hold, it moves to 1.
Bullard pops one up. Foul ground. Garrett Rice makes the catch for out number 3. 4 scoreless out of the bullpen for Rodriguez. Go to the bottom of the 8th. 12-4 SwampBats. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Nick Pappas has thrown 2 scoreless innings. We take a look at the beautiful moon at Alumni Field shining through the clouds. Really is a picturesque night. It was a hot day, an uncomfortable afternoon here, Ian. I got here early this afternoon preparing for all the festivities and fireworks night. But it's turned into a really nice, picturesque night. Terrific crowd. I mean, the foul lines are lined with fans all the way down on both sides. The grandstand is full. The bleachers are full. The space behind the grandstand is full. The concourse, if you will. It's all happening tonight. Bats fans saving the best for last. This summer at Alumni Fields, and so far the fans sent them home with some positive memories. Ready for baseball in 2024 at Alumni Field. And the SwampBats will be here after today. But go for it. 1 for 4. Home run, 3 RBIs, some great defense at third base. Well, the SwampBats here at the bottom of the 8th as they lead it by 8 runs.
And for the SwampBats, there's some promise for next year. Now, granted, you don't know what the roster is going to look like next season. That's the nature of college summer baseball. But you can look at the season and kind of write it off and look at some of the performances they've had, the power outbursts, some strong pitching performances throughout the season. You can highlight those and see them as things to build upon for next season when you're building the roster and build upon them from there. You don't have to kind of blow things up and change the plan when you're scouting out the squad for next year.
Go for it. 3-0 swinging a rocket toward left. It'll bounce off the wall. Go forth, headed for second. The throw from Cesarini is not in time. A double for Evan Goforth, and he's got 2 extra base hits today.
He's really had just an outstanding ball game. The homer earlier in this ball game, plating 3 runs, and now this double. He's now 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Also a really star-studded night defensively at third base. Just a complete showing from Evan Goforth.
Ryan Padilla is 1 for 4, an RBI single back in the third. And the dirt. Appish gave up the double to Goforth on the 3-0 pitch. Now 2-0 behind Padilla. And 3-0.
Couple more official results around the league. The Mainers have knocked off the Mountaineers 15-4. They're 1 game out of first place in the North Division, and then also, the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, a 15-4 upset over the Mystic Schooners, and they right now pull into a 3-way tie for that last playoff spot. But if results hold, if Ocean State ends up losing to the Gulls, they're trailing 5-2, and then this game stays where it is, a 12-4 deficit for Upper Valley. The Sharks would come from behind, really, to take the last playoff spot right now in the last 2 days. Still to go in the NECBL regular season.
Yeah, if you go back in time, Swind was 2.5 games out of a playoff spot as recently as Saturday. They've closed the gap in a hurry. They've really been out of the playoffs all season. Padilla has a foul to third.
They were a last place ball club for most of the year, and just gotten hot at the right time in a really competitive Coastal Division, winning some ball games. They split a doubleheader against the odds against a league-leading Newport, and that really started this come-from-behind effort to make a playoffs.
Padilla strikes out on a 3-2 breaking ball. Third strikeout for Pappas. And now it'll be Tony Livermore, who's won 3 times today.
Pappas has done a solid job here out of the bullpen and not allowing a run. And that's been what Upper Valley's been looking for. Just provide some length and keep the deficit where it is. Now, the odds looking long for a comeback in this one, chasing 8 runs with only 1 opportunity left. But Pappas can build upon this.
Yeah, he would have kept the Nighthawks in the game had Joel Rodriguez not been terrific for 4 innings. Rodriguez putting up zeros in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th for the SwampBats.
There is action out there in the Keene bullpen. Not sure if Rodriguez will be able to finish this one off, but either way, it's been a fantastic outing.
It sure has for Joel Rodriguez. That looks like Caden Campbell, the hard-throwing lefty from Louisville, warming up in the pen. And more swinging to the pitch of the dirt there, and it's 1-2. There's Caden Campbell. A 1-2. And it's strike 3 called. And we're not expecting the fastball. Full strikeout now for Pappas. 2 outs to go forth still at second base for DeLavalier, who's 3 for 5.
Now it bears repeating. They still need to string together a couple of hits to allow the opportunity
Smith is out
for
of the
Smith.
game.
Yeah.
He,
oh, okay.
Yeah, he came out for Christian Mercedes, who's in center field now for the SwampBats. So it'll be no cycle for Smith.
Bummer.
He'll take 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 extra base hits. Blake has a double, 2 singles, an RBI, and 2 runs scored in this ball game.
It's really not one player in this Keene lineup that you can point out as having a bad night. Everyone's contributed, even though not everyone's had the same kind of success like Livermore's had. Or rather, DeLavalier.
Low, 2-0.
Livermore's also had a solid night. He's reached base 3 times on 3 walks. Scored 2 runs, stolen 2 bases. He's out at second base right now. That's Goforth. It's hard to keep track with all the SwampBats base runners on base tonight.
There have been a lot. They've stranded 10, scored 12. First baseman Bullard under this foul pop. It's a fair pop, but it's out number 3. Hit off double from Goforth, cups to nothing, but the SwampBats still lead by 8 as we go to the 9th. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. Caden Campbell is the new SwampBats pitcher here for the 9th. Out of University of Louisville, hard-throwing lefty Campbell. He is 2-2, the .572 ERA in 11 innings this season. And he comes in for Joel Rodriguez, who was fantastic in 4 innings of relief for the SwampBats. Rodriguez, 4 innings, no hits, no runs. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He hit 1 batter, but a terrific outing of relief for Joel Rodriguez.
It really just kept the Nighthawks on their heels, baffled the Bats all night. Nothing that they could do to touch Rodriguez. He's in line for the win now in this ball game as the most effective reliever, following Chalice's 4 innings with the start. And in front of a near-capacity crowd here at Alumni Field, they got to be very happy with how their team is closing out their home slate.
They certainly will be. 12-4 Bats going to the 9th. Couple of pitching lines to catch you up on for the Nighthawks. Austin Beck batting for the first time today. shortstop for Upper Valley. Hunter, 2 innings, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. Pappas, 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk and 4 strikeouts. Folks, if you're just tuning into the NECBL, don't watch a lot of NECBL baseball, just want to shout out the league and tell you where you can get more information about the NECBL. NECBL.com is the league's official website as it's fouled away. 2-2, a lot of good content there. NECBL.com. You can also stay connected following the New England League on all of our social media channels. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/NECBL. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the NECBL, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Also sign up for the NECBL newsletter at NECBL.com. 3-2 on long. Campbell throws ball 4 on the plate. You say Austin Beck there, the batter.
Beck came in as a defensive replacement at shortstop in the 7th, and his lone at bat works a walk. Not a bat, just a plate appearance, but works a walk. Saw a couple of quality pitches from Caden Campbell in the ball game, who has pitched several games this season against Upper Valley. It's been a mixed bag of results for Campbell, looking for more consistency here. 1-1 record with over 3 2/3. Over 3 games, allowed 2 earned runs against Upper Valley. Was on the hook for 2 runs over an inning of work against the Nighthawks in the 22nd affair between these two teams. Pitched the 9th, closed it out.
Dylan Palmer's grounded out twice. He's looped out, and he's got an infield single. 1 out of 4. The Nighthawks begin their 5th time through the batting order here at the top of the 9th.
And that reflects that it's not been an issue of offense in this ball game, at least in terms of hits. They've not been able to hit with runners in scoring position, but they've gotten runners on. Just been a struggle to score runs and keep pace with a torrid SwampBats offense.
Well, tonight, I'll tell you what, Ian, is not as bad as it could have been for Upper Valley. Obviously, it's not what they were looking for coming in. Losing to the SwampBats here, barring a big cutback late. 3-1 here on Palmer. But they didn't have to use too many pitchers. Only 3. It's Oliver, Hunter, and Pappas. So they'll be in better shape tomorrow than they were heading into today in terms of available arms out of the bullpen for their doubleheader against Vermont. And with Ocean State trailing against Newport 5-2 as Palmer draws a walk. Beck advances to 2nd, and the batter will be Darius Myers.
Actually, no. This is a treat. This is a treat, folks. On the other side of this mound visit, we're going to get a Randall Alejo at bat. Now, he had 1 at-bat last year with the Nighthawks, and he jokes about it, saying it was not a very good at-bat, not what he can do at the plate. He's one of the best pitchers on this Nighthawks team, but he's going to get the chance to swing the bat here, looking to go to school as a 2-way player next year for the College of St. Rose, but he's going to get the chance to swing the bat, prove what he can do with the lumber as opposed to the leather on the mound.
He's been great on the mound this season. He's the scheduled starter for tomorrow, game 1, I believe, against Vermont for the Nighthawks. An RBI chance here at the top of the 9th.
Lefty-righty matchup, too.
And for Myers, who went 2 for 4. But Alejo takes strike 1.
Alejo has been taking batting practice as part of the last group of hitters, so he's been getting some practice. We'll see if that translates to an in-game opportunity.
Strike called. 90 on the inside corner, and it's 0-2 on Randall Alejo.
That's one thing I've noticed, though, with his swings. He does end up on his front foot. Has to stay back.
So the 0-2. Miss. 93 there. Campbell let it up on the radar gun.
This is
the
the
highest
loudest
pitch anyone's thrown today.
This is the loudest I've heard the Nighthawks dugout right below us here in the broadcast booth in the last couple innings.
2 pitch to Randall Alejo. Missed up it away, and the count even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Down and in. Alejo had to get his right foot out of the way.
That's the con of sending him to the plate, especially when he's scheduled to start tomorrow. Don't want him to take one off the arm, off of any part of his body that could give him a bruise and jeopardize that start.
It's one of the issues with pitchers hitting in general. That's ball 4. I don't think Alejo knows what the count is.
No, I think he knows what the count is. He just wants to swing the bat. He doesn't want to walk.
Huh. Would make sense. So back to third. Palmer to second. Alejo aboard at first.
There you go, Randall. You have a on-base percentage, a perfect 1,000 on the year. Hats off to you, Randall.
But now it's Ryan Cesarini. Cesarini 1 for 4. An RBI double back in the 3rd inning, which gave the Nighthawks a 3-2 lead at the time. He takes strike 1 at 90 miles an hour on a Caden Campbell fastball.
T-shirt toss going on in the crowd right now. Some of the SwampBats players.
Oh, yeah. Lifted in the air to right. That's going to be a grand slam home run off the barn. Ryan Cesarini with his first home run of the season, and he cuts the Nighthawks deficit in half. 370 feet off the barn in right. Cesarini gets RBIs 13, 14, 15, and 16, and 17 in this ball game. 5 RBI day for him, a grand slam for the first homer of the season for the All-Star from St. Joseph's.
When he just smoked right there off the barn in right field. Ryan Cesarini's first homer of the year, and that was something that the players poked fun of him for. He was the home run derby representative for the Nighthawks, despite not having a long ball this season. But they can't say that anymore.
0-1 the count on Steve Harrington now.
Some action warming up now in the SwampBat bullpen. Tyler Tornberg getting loose after Campbell came in and has gotten tagged for 4 runs before recording an out.
Walked the bases loaded. Gave up a grand slam. That is strike 3 called. Campbell strikes out Harrington with a fastball on the outside corner. It's 1 man away.
That home run, though, makes things interesting, because if you could do that again, get a couple of base runners on, could bring the tying run to the plate. Now, it's still a long way away, the 4-run deficit.
This one is chopped away. 1 ball and no strikes on Marco Ali. Ali 0 for 3, but he's reached out an error and been hit by a pitch. And
his catcher's interference.
Catcher's interference there. Called on Joe Salvo, the new catcher for the SwampBats. Salvo gets dinged for catcher's interference. Counts as an error against the catcher.
That's unfortunate there. That's unfortunate because it was a quality pitch from Campbell, but maybe crossed up the catcher, got Salvo to reach out at it, and the swing from Ali nicked the glove.
So runner at first. And now it's Matthew Russo. Russo, 1 for 4, 2-run homer in the 2nd inning on the 13th pitch. He saw that at bat from the starter Eric Chalice Jr.
That's got to go down as the at-bat of the Nighthawks season. Just a great fight by Russo, spoiling a lot of pitches, then got one he can drive and did so to the opposite field.
3-0. Tornberg warming up with the SwampBats bullpen. It's 12-4 entering the 9th. 3 walks, a grand slam, a strikeout, then catcher's interference. Now it's 3-0 on Russo. All 4. All of a sudden, the Upper Valley Nighthawks really are making things interesting. I think that's going to be it for Campbell. He was only able to record 1 out. Really struggling to find the strike zone. We'll take a break for the pitching change. 12-8. 2 runners aboard for the Nighthawks. This is the NECBL on ESPN+. A new pitcher for the SwampBats is Tyler Tornberg from Bryant University, Rhode Island, making his 13th appearance. He's run 16 in 3rd innings. This season 0-2 with an ERA of 7.71. He comes in a safe situation here because it's the 9th inning of the tying run is on deck. Tornberg trying to close the door of the Nighthawks. Caden Campbell was unable to do, coming into the 9th with an 8-run lead. Faced 7 batters and 6 of them reached, including a grand slam by Ryan Cesarini. So it's 12-8. Runners at first and second. The tie run on deck. Rodriguez has been aboard 4 times today. 2 hits, including a home run and 2 walks. A switch hitter batting left, and he takes low from Tornberg. 1 ball and no strikes. Tornberg has struggled with his control at times this season. Really got to be in the strike zone here. And he's not. Behind 2-0 on Damaris Rodriguez. SwampBats were up 12-4 heading into the 9th inning. Now it's getting tense. Goes around there at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball from Tornberg, which was on the outside corner anyway. 2 balls and a strike on Damaris Rodriguez.
Tornberg's pitched a scoreless inning against Upper Valley. His last time out, the 26th, it was a losing effort for the SwampBats, 4-1.
A 5-pitch inning, if I remember correctly.
Yes, very effective in his line of work. Just a couple of flyouts was all that was necessary.
The count even at 2-2 on Rodriguez. Pitch. Rounded to first. Garrett Rice has it. Waves off Tornberg. 2 outs.
And that's a smart play from Garrett Rice. He could have tried to force it and turned to end the ball game with 1 play, but the issue with that is it's a forced throw that could be sailed into left field, score at least 1 run. So play it safe, get the sure out, and now you bring up Jake Bullard, who's really struggled in this ball game.
0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. The 8-hitter trying to get the tying run to the plate. That's what would happen if Bullard gets on base. But he's behind to the count 0-1 after a 90-mile-an-hour strike from Tornberg. 0-1 to the backstop. That'll score a runner from third. Ali. The catcher's interference. Russo goes up to third. SwampBats don't really care about that too much. 1-1 the count on Bullard. It's now a 12-9 game.
Really, the thing that matters most is getting the batter out. These runs, although they might make the scoreline look more interesting, doesn't tell the whole story of the game.
It's outside, but it's 2-1. SwampBats trying to hang on here. Yeah, I don't know if you remember earlier this season, she was on the other foot. 6-1 heading to the bottom of the 9th, a game that finished 6-4. Devin Taylor flied out to the warning track with the bases loaded to end the game.
Yeah, missed a go-ahead grand slam by a matter of feet.
It's Upper Valley trying to make a late comeback. Swing and a miss by Bullard. And the Nighthawks are down to their final strike. That's lead at 12-9. 3-2, 2 outs. A pitch. Take it. Strike 3 called, and the SwampBats win it. Tyler Tornberg gets both batters he faces out. And the SwampBats hang on after some unforeseen drama in the 9th inning. For the Nighthawks, they score 5 times on 1 hit and 1 error. They leave 1 man on base. The SwampBats win the game 12-9. finishes as a barn burner here at Alumni Field, Ian.
Yeah, made it a lot closer than it had to be, did the SwampBats. They allowed 5 runs in that top of the 9th, brought the tying run into the on-deck circle. A couple runs still came in to score, but they did what they had to do, finished it out, and made it a lot interesting, but SwampBats hold on for the win. Playing spoiler in this ball game, they make the Nighthawks' path to the playoffs a lot more difficult, make these games against Vermont a must-win.
Yeah, pressure is going to be on the Nighthawks. In the last 3 games of the season, 2 tomorrow and 1 on Sunday against the Vermont Mountaineers. SwampBats will next be in action against the Sanford Mainers on the road tomorrow. SwampBats finish up the home portion of their schedule with a win. A game that finishes SwampBats 12 and the Nighthawks 9. Ian, why don't you take us around the scores for the rest of the NECBL and tell us how the playoff picture looks up to this very moment?
Be happy to do so. So a couple of finals from earlier today. The North Adams Steeple Cats sweep the Danbury Westerners 8-2 and 2-0 in a doubleheader. That secures the West Division for the Valley Blue Sox, despite them dropping a game to the Bristol Blues 10-4. Now, with those results, the Blues now move up into the 6th seed in the playoffs. The Danbury Westerners fall to the 7th seed for the moment. Neither team has clinched. The Vermont Mountaineers fall to the Sanford Mainers 15-4. Now, 1 game separates Sanford from first place in the North Division. The Martha's Vineyard Sharks are victorious over the Mystic Schooners 15-4. That puts them in a playoff spot right now. They are tied with the Ocean State Waves, but the Waves are falling right now to the Newport Gulls 7-2. If that holds, the Sharks have a half-game lead over both the Upper Valley Nighthawks and the Waves for that 8th spot. And that wraps things up for the league slate, and the Gulls trying to hold on.
Thank you very much, Ian. Now it's time for the final totals from tonight's game. For the Upper Valley Nighthawks, 9 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, and 8 men left on base. For the Keene SwampBats, 12 runs on 13 hits, 2 errors, and 11 men left on base. The winning pitcher was Joel Rodriguez. He improves to 3-1. Teddy Tolliver gets the loss. He drops to 1-2. Tyler Tornberg gets the save, his first of the season. Attendance, season high, 3,850 people here at Alumni Field. They're on the field now getting ready for the fireworks show. Time of the game, 3 hours and 16 minutes. This broadcast is copyright of the New England Collegiate Baseball League. For executive producer P.J. Moynihan with digitalized film, Ryan Hurd on the graphics, David Pierce, our director, our excellent camera crew, Mike Gavin and Ryan, and a shout out to our camera crew here at the SwampBats all season long, and my partner Ian Benke. I'm Chota White saying so long and good night from Alumni Field in Keene, New Hampshire. Once again, the final score, the SwampBats 12 and the Nighthawks 9. This has been the NECBL on ESPN+.